No. It says Hypoc recording comms after every competitive match. Discussing some other stuff. When are you gonna come visit, Mac? Come check out our offices, dude. Hello? Hello? Okay. Okay. I don't like that.
Surprise! We've actually made it. Hello and welcome to twitch.tv/PUBGOnline. My name is Ronnie Mac. I'm here with Mustache Dave and our special guest this evening, 17 of Optic Gaming. Now, Dave, first of all, how are you?
I'm doing good, but hey, let's just address the elephant in the room. Let's go straight to the guy. Come on, I'm always here.
I'm sorry, I want to say hello.
I know you're trying to be
2
nice.
seconds, dude. I just want to see how you're doing. You know, you're looking good. Go. The mustache looking clean. Whatever, it is what it is. But yes, we do have 17 here. Sorry about the whole timer fiasco. We tried to get started early. Tanner, 17 Curtis, how are you on this fine evening?
I'm doing great. I'm ready for my first experience here on the analyst desk. I got nice cup of coffee and ready for some good actions here out of this lobby.
Okay, absolutely. So very quickly, if you could, just a little bit who you are. Obviously, you play for Optic. Just a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm 25 years old. I have served prior 5 years in the military up until about six months ago when I joined Optic PUBG. I am currently the IGL and team captain. So I do a lot of stuff in-game to help with making sure our communications are on point, putting us in good positions to win, which we do some days and do not do some other days. And I just try and study the PUBG scene as best as I can.
Okay, there you go. That's a great little intro. Now, specifically, Optic, you guys played last night here in PUBG Online.
Hold up, is it single?
What?
You mentioned that.
What?
I mean, he's his age. I'm just wondering, are you single? No, those ladies out there.
I'm happily married.
All right, let's just keep going. Let's just go.
Dave, you're just the best.
So a girl messaged me, all right? She's like, "Hey, is this guy
right now already? We're on an 8-minute delay, and they already messaged you. Amazing.
I told him I was gonna be on the desk tonight with this guy. So
yeah, no, I understand. So 17 from Optic Gaming will be joining us on the desk tonight. Kind of talk a little bit about what goes on in all these games. You guys did play last night. obviously. You're sitting, if I'm not mistaken, you're sitting at number 2 out of the 40 teams overall in the standings right now. After last night, you were number 1 for the night, so you jumped from 3 to 2, passing SafeRez, a.k.a. the old MLGB squad. So, I mean, you guys are sitting pretty good with 1 week left to go.
Yeah, looking forward to next week's games. We do also have one makeup game. We were a part of that. I guess what was it last week where we only got maintenance came in the way. So we do have one extra game, as well as next week's games, and excited to see how they play out. Excited to watch SafeRez tonight, along with a couple of these other top teams, and make sure that we can finish the season strong and hopefully come away with that #1 spot.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, well, you're right there, and it's wild card out in front. And Dave, I mean, what are your thoughts on wild card alone so far in this PUBG Online season?
I mean, they came out the gates super hot, looking fresh to death. I was definitely on their bandwagon there. But this last week, I want to say they kind of cooled down in a couple tournaments, online tournaments, kind of cooling down. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I like to refer to poor source. He names it the honeymoon phase. I'm not sure if that honeymoon phase is over or, let's see what they got going on tonight. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was just a bad week for them because I know that they are some heavy fraggers. And, I mean, Optic 17, he should know firsthand considering he's out there with these guys. So, I mean.
All right, so we're 45 seconds out of the first game. 17, I'm going to ask you, you look at this lobby, you got 15 teams in here. What team stands out to you? Is it Cloud9? Is it FlyQuest? Is it the new Dare team, now signed to Dare Rising? Who is it that's standing out to you this evening in this lobby?
Right now, I have to go with, in my opinion, the most consistent team in North America, and that would be Cloud9.
Ooh, absolutely. Hey, Cloud9 last week just came out, just bam, dude, looking on fire, killing everybody, out of control. They're on the rise. They actually went from 37th to like 13th in one night or something ridiculous like that. Yeah, it was out of control. But it is now time to get into game #1. When we come back, the analyst desk, we'll be back here with 17 and Mustache Dave. But until then, let's kick it into game #1 right now with Lil Fuzzy Seal and Skyline.
Hello, what is going on? I am a Little Fuzzy Seal, as Jabroni so kindly introduced, joined today by Skyline. I'm really happy to be bringing you guys 2 nights of PUBG in a row, but that's enough for me. Skyline, how you doing, dude?
I'm doing pretty well. It's been a hot second since I've seen some PUBG Online. Last week, Tuesday, same time, same place, but here we go. The plane's in the air, and how are you liking the lineup today?
Yeah, there's a couple of teams I've been looking at, and also a lot of teams on our roster. They have a couple of roster like renames and switches. Dare Rising, which I believe is old SSG, if I'm not mistaken. Then we also got renames like 4 PUBG players. There's just a lot of just renames that. First of all, I apologize in advance. It'll be a little bit weird to get used to, but also just interesting seeing if these roster swaps as well as these name switches will in some way affect the strategies they'll be using going into the game.
Well, let's take a look at where some of our teams are landing already. As nothing in Gatka. Gatka has been a place that last week we saw a lot of in circles, and this week our teams are taking a break. It looks like, at least in the games that I've watched. How was NA yesterday?
And it was pretty sick yesterday. Every single game past game 1 had a flight plan in a circle that was just like not at all aligned. If the flight plan was on the north, the south, or like north and south, like favoring the western coast, the circle would be on the east side. That happened 3 different games in a row, and specifically on game 3, it did that, but also it had the military back to mainland debate circle. And look at that, we're getting a kind of a similar, actually not quite a similar situation as the end of the flight plan does have a couple of teams that are in this new zone on the eastern side, but a lot of teams that decide to drop early, that being some of the guys in Georgia Pool, we see a couple of guys here, as well as some of the guys that have ended themselves near the eastern sort of ruins area, have a bit of a ways to go to get to this new zone.
All right, guys, here are our first 2 teams that we're taking a look at. This is Northern Georgia Pool. On the right-hand side, Team 15 is Cloud9. And on the left, just 4 PUBG players. They're just 4 players. They're just chilling out.
Well, it'll be pretty embarrassing for C9 if just 4 guys take them out, won't it? We do see quite a wide split here for Cloud9. This is pretty smart. We see 2 guys playing a sort of pseudo gatekeeper role, trying to get some loot in the early apartments, as well as Frolicker here on the west side, grabbing some loot in the mansion area. I'm looking for their last player.
Wait, we just had first blood. Frolicker just took 1 damage from that fall. That's it. A huge disadvantage coming out. That's more than 1 damage, actually.
It is technically first
that was 5.
Yeah,
Cloud9, a severe disadvantage to start this game.
Well, it's funny they bring that up, though, because we look at the map right now. In solid FPS, the 4th member from Cloud9 is not in Jordan Pool. So if a fight breaks out between them and 4 PUBG players, there could be a slight disadvantage there.
I mean, hey, you get one-shotted by a Car 98 with level 2 helmet. It's relevant.
Could happen. Could happen.
Over here in Yasnaya, we have the meme enthusiasts. Now, talk about this a little bit. Also, we have Shrimzy. Don't hide from us, Shrimzy.
Oh, well, if you insist, we do. We actually see a pretty wide spread from the meme enthusiasts, with Dakoko getting pretty close to Shrimzy. Shrimzy hiding here. It looks like he's making a little bit of noise, so it looks like the player that's breaching this building is aware that Shrimzy is here. M4 versus the AK, but Dakoko, he must have, maybe he's seen some open doors at this point. I'm not sure whether or not he knows that Shrimzy is here. But Shrimzy definitely camping guy. Dakoko not in the building anymore, just vaulting over that wall. Whether or not he heard Shrimzy, there will not be any rounds traded today.
Nope. So, I mean, that'd be pretty dangerous, right? I don't know if they know that Shrimzy's here.
Guns are dangerous, I agree. I think that's a very, very accurate analysis of weaponry. Ooh, look at that!
Who took him out? That was Fuzzy Potato from over here in the window. Man, this is like, they have players dotted all over the place in these houses. That's a UMP, too. That's pretty far away. That's it for Silky Meat.
Yeah, and look at these long sight lines as well for the hooligans. We have one guy in the apartment, and another one, like you said, pretty far spread out in this little 2-story blue, and another one is a 3rd player further east in the mansion area. So despite being so spread out, we see little bits of, ambush plays working out before a meme enthusiast can actually identify where the entirety of the hooligans are. So pretty good first blood, and that'll probably be the meme enthusiasts avoiding where they think the hooligans are, but still, as they press further east, they will be finding more and more contact in the hooligans.
Well, we'll have to see. Fuzzy Potato, whoa. This guy, he wants a slice of the pie, man. He's all the way up, pushed against the road. Dakoko is looking this direction, but I think that he'll be able to get this house just fine and probably go south. Right now, this road, man, this road is like a firewall here in Yasnaya. So wide, right?
It's so hard to cross it, but honestly, with where these teams are, they might want to get going early at somebody from their claim zone. Oh, look over here, Fear Me. He's getting booted 2 players. Not bringing the buggy around. Fear Me forced inside. He's going to be hiding out because there are 2 players trying to take this guy out from Dare Rising.
Here we go. I don't think that they're going to... I mean, it's 2v1. They don't know he's here.
It's pretty good. It's pretty hard to take this odds. They might have heard him moving.
They might have. They might have. I think that...
Oh, yeah, look how Fignal was blading. He definitely knows.
Oh, yeah, he's looking that direction. And they've got to know it's just one person, too. If it was more than one person, they'd be dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at this. 2 players going across, like, sort of cross-sectioning off here, trying to see if Fear Me's peeking any windows, but Fear Me just camping here. He will force them to run into that building if he wants to fight. A couple of shots being ringing out already. Not sure what that was. They definitely didn't see him. Fear Me was not peeking there. And look at this little angle that he's holding right here, this little stairwell. This is one of the most terrifying stairwells to push in the entire game. 3 or 4 different routes that you can actually get shot at here. And look at this, an M16 and an AK on his back, 2 terrifying close-range guns. Especially that M16 on close range, on burst fire. But looking over here, Such a Destroy, bringing all 4 people in. This is not going to be good for Fear Me going in here.
All right, here comes Rift as well on the motorcycle. We got the whole squad here, the whole gang. I hope Fear Me can live up to his name here. That's not an auto. That's not an automatic weapon. I'm liking the AK here maybe a little bit more, but there we go. He does land a couple shots down, but man, oh man, up against 4. Any grenades coming out? I don't think I'm seeing it.
I heard a stun, but it looks like not doing much. But oh, look at that!
Whoa!
He's taking out 1.
Wait, no, that's VTV. No, that's VTV from somewhere.
Oh no!
I don't know where it's. Wait, that's. Oh my gosh, VTV! He killed his own. It's a spy. All right, Fear Me though. It looks like he'll redeem himself. He'll kill the guy.
Oh,
he'll kill the dude.
Oh yeah, even bringing the meme can kill out there to finish it off. That is, I think that might be a real first blood. No, that's the second real first blood. First one we got to see here on the camera. That will be the guys over on Such a Destroy to claim that first very centralized compound. It'll be a pretty good place to grab starting up. It looks like that split hold and looting strategy not quite working out because the cars crashed before anyone could actually get shots at them to really drive them off. And looking around at the side of the circle, a lot of the big compounds already taken. So if you're coming in late and hoping to grab one of these spots, then well, you're gonna be wrong, and you're probably gonna get punished for that as well.
Jeez, you know, that was a pretty long time too, right? Before I feel like his team could have come and helped him out. You know, the duo had their squad come and help him out, but I guess.
Yeah, well, if they come in to help out and you know they lose a fight, then all of a sudden you're 16th place in game one. That's not a great place to be. So it looks like once they realized he was getting pushed, just saying, all right, leave him for. If he wins the 1v4, great. But other than that, we already have our own compound. Just leave him be. Playing with 3 is still possible after all.
Yeah, 3 is not so bad. Once you get down to 2, that gets pretty rough.
Yeah.
We have Fly Q here over on the high ground. You know, this area always gets really sticky, especially if the circle lies around this area because you have so many rocks, so many hills, and it's really good to take control of this early on. You see Fly Q actually, they're split between both the, usually that's split into like 3 different little portions of that horseshoe. They're taking both sides of it. So Fly Q in a really good position now. What do you think about this team and their chances for this game? I mean, they're pretty strong and they're pretty central right now.
Are you mentioning FlyQ?
Yeah, FlyQuest.
Yeah, I think they're in a pretty decent spot. That spot on the rocks, they'll be able to exert a lot of pressure onto passing cars. But it does look like, for the most part, that a lot of the people that were driving in would have already done it. Most of the other teams that are playing pretty much saying, all right, we definitely didn't grab any of these early compounds. Let's just kind of sit here on the edge and see what the zone does. If it ends up going very far in one direction, they will be able to snag one of these compounds out. A lot of centralized squads won't be able to quite react in time, or at the very least, they'll be equal footing. With FlyQ, we see with these beautiful hills, they'll be able to just prone out. They're not going to die here, but they will be able to get shots on people if they come on by, which, looking over here to the west, might be Noble. But nah, it actually does look like that'll be Noble claiming the shelter area.
So
they're going underground.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Noble in shelter. Now, there's a lot of loot here in shelter, so it's pretty helpful to come down and loot it. But staying inside of it, you know, traditionally, teams don't have a lot of success winning from shelter necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely from Noble, this isn't like a game-winning play. There's just like, all right, well, we're late. Everyone hates shelter, so let's go shelter. Because Noble kind of does that a lot, where like they just grab places that other team goes to. But oh, look over here. It looks like a couple of guys from Where's My Mother spotting some passing vehicles. But there will be Shark OW of Safe Res getting out of here. Safe Res, one of our higher-ranked teams right now.
Safe Res has been doing pretty phenomenally lately. And we see them coming now. So the center parts, the good parts, the meaty parts, the sirloin of the circle has been taken at this point.
The circle.
Yeah,
I like that. I like it.
Yeah, the tenderloins, but but
no, continue. Keep going with the metaphor.
The outside. Well, I was gonna give like a vegan-friendly comparison, but
okay.
the soybeans of the circle. Over on the edge, we have lots of compounds, so it's pretty safe for these edge teams, right?
Yeah, and it looks like with this first circle, you know, we do have 15 teams that have 16, so that's like one less possible compound to be grabbed. And these guys are showing up later. They probably have a bit more loot than the guys that started up early, so it's kind of like a trade-off, right? Now, do you send your guys in early to try to grab that compound, or do you just not even bother, get yourself a kid wherever you drop, whatever, whether it be Prim, Georgie, whatever, and then just show up late? Because like I said before, you're not going to get first pickings on wherever the zone is going to end up, but you might be able to react to following circles. And also, it's not like playing Edge of the Death Sentence. If the final few zones don't have compounds in, then these guys that started early are not going to get benefited by them at all. And looking at the zone real quick, we do see a lot of the good compounds that are taken are on the north side. So once again, zone doesn't flip north. All these guys had their early rotations kind of for nothing.
3, 2, 1, go.
No,
all
well,
right.
Never mind.
There it is. So we also know we have 15 teams this game. The normal is 16. Sorry, 16. So we'll have one extra little place for our late comers here.
Yeah, it really does look like that. These guys have been moving in.
I think that I think that the spec just crashed, but it's okay because it's okay. We can still talk about it. We're going to come in about 10, 15 more seconds, guys. But basically, what was happening, picture this in your mind's eye, right? Close your eyes. You can see the map. You can see all the players moving in.
I'm doing it.
On the, therapy time with Skyline. Picture the cars moving in. Tell me what color the Dodges are.
Oh,
you know?
They're red. Wait, they're not red. They're just on fire.
Oh
they're on fire, Skyline.
What does
and
it
they're
mean?
on fire. They are on fire because that zone that we got there at the end, a lot of those teams that were sort of pockmarked in the center, they had all the compounds. They had pretty much every single location that could be taken that would provide them any significant cover besides the Mansion Forest area. And, you know, when you're thinking like, oh, man, where's a good end game spot that's going to get me a quick win? You don't think Mansion Forest. McMansion Forest is a fun place to end, but it's not exactly defendable or like just good in any way. It's fun, but isn't good. And while I do hope that we end up there and some teams will be forced in there, these guys that are showing up late, looking, if they do decide to look for a central location, are going to be sorely mistaken. A lot of those locations will be taken. And honestly, in this area, it really is classified by a lot of those compounds on that eastern side. You know, so you got like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 in the center right there. That's a lot of teams that wanted to move for a very long time. These remaining 6 or 7 or 8 that aren't in those compounds, they're going to have a really messy go of things.
I mean, we'll certainly see. It's really, really a very nasty area because it's like a bunch of little hills, a bunch of little like castles and despots all dotted around, and then in between is just these giant valleys of flat land and no cover whatsoever. So we'll see who becomes the kings of the hill and who becomes the people in the trenches.
Looks like FlyQuest will be the one decided to grab the Mansion Forest area, but a couple of teams are trying to make their way in the northwest side. Noble trying to leave their shelter. Will be taking some fire here, but Hooligans looking like they won't quite be able to find some kills. Guys who go on the left side, they should be able to get the cover if he is not good though.
Yeah, Elected trying to be a hot shot, but not landing any. It's pretty hard at that distance. I think he landed.
Boom is stuck though. Look at that. He's on that little guard post in the center. He's does he have a car anywhere?
I think he took one shot, but he has the cover of all these little buildings.
Oh, poor baby. I mean, poor baby, you got shot.
He's a boomer.
He should be able to get out of here. Yeah, he's fine.
Actually, we have another circle already. This game
it's almost done.
Lightning fast.
Yeah, maybe because we were there for
this.
Yeah, maybe because we weren't there for the second rotation there. But it does look like, for the most part, teams, except for those guys on the northwest side that are currently blue tanking, have found themselves a place to call home. And it's like I kept saying before, like this location has a lot of compounds, but they're all taken at this point. So if you're coming from the edge, you have very little options in the third circle, besides just like crash something. It's gonna get pretty rough for these guys.
Well, let's see. This is Team Rush, and they're doing pretty well. They're doing okay. Yeah, they've.
I think that's exactly average, or just about average. 37 seems to be like a good benchmark for a lot of our teams here.
They've had some pretty good games, so they certainly have some spirit in them. We'll see what they can do. They're in a pretty good position near the center of the circle, but this one is what counts. Are we going to center up over Mansion? Or are we going to find some freaky thing along the edge, or maybe even go to Lepovka?
Give me the Mansion. I want to see that forest.
And
okay.
Denied mostly.
That is the big mountain in the middle of that circle with a couple of compounds to the side of it. But that mountaintop, pretty barren, devoid of cover. Look at this. We do see some trees on the left side, but the further east you go, that's a whole lot of nothing. So if you're not in these compounds or in the coastline, then you're going to be fighting and killing people for a chance of getting in here on the edge. I wonder how these teams are reacting, though, because they look at this, they realize, okay, we're not in our compounds. We got to go somewhere. Where are they going to go? A lot of these compounds, look at this. We already see squads, Inhuman, Counterculture, all these guys on squad Relentless. They're going to have great shots and cars passing by here.
You're right. The hill, the big hill in the center is pretty crucial. I think particularly later on in the game, because the circle's almost certainly going to be over the hill to some extent. Let's see where these
No
players
really
go.
centralized team though, or no real team is that centralized. Only one actually making a rotation. You see on the northwest side. It will be the guys at Meme Enthusiasts that might be able to spot that out, taking some shots at Shrimsy. But yeah, look at this, driving just right over this little bit of defilade, avoiding any and all damage. Some really slick driving from these guys.
Well, it's a bit early to go to the hill, I think, right? Because it's a bit wide open. That's something that teams are going to be looking for later on. Ooh, where's Cloud9 going to go?
Yeah, it looks like that we see a sort of hooligans, they spot them out and say, okay, are they going to get shot? Let's see what happens to them. And despite them, like, sort of going right between two compounds and no one from C9 getting shot here, you see a couple of downs in the kill feed, Elevate getting taken down, looks like in the rotation away from Lepovka, not going too well, retreating back where they came from. But for the most part, once again, most of our teams somehow finding some way, whether it be on the edge or in a compound, just to kind of sneak in. But just look how compact everyone is in this zone. It's going to explode at some point. The question just when.
Once again, we see our young 4 PUBG players of no discernible proper name. But they've been around for a while.
Young Bay.
They've been around for a while. This team are no slackers, and right now they're staring down. Well, they're staring down. I think this is another team of 4 over here, the Hooligans.
Yeah, Hooligans, yeah. And it looks like they might have been going for a flank. They actually don't know that in this little compound that they're looking at, that 4 PUBG players are actually split up into 2 different compounds, that 2-2 split. So they're not pushing into 4 PUBG players, they're pushing into 2 PUBG players. But since they can kind of cover each other, which Fuzzy Potato is figuring out the hard way, they're realizing that this push is not exactly that really that doable, but at the same time they really haven't been pressed, right? You know, they're still in the zone. It's not like oh no, they're in the compounds, we're gonna die. Like, no, it's like, okay, like, what do we do now? They have a little bit of time to sort of ponder this.
They do have a little bit, but not a lot, because the circle's going to move in. They're not going to be in it anymore. Look at how far onto the edge they are, unless they really rely on the circle goddess.
I didn't mean it actually centered, but oh, look at this. They're rising, driving right by him, and look at that. Just a little bit of a hill. Oh, they're pulling up here. Oh,
no! Traded goes down immediately. Samurai, no chance there. Solid FPS and Frex work together to get a double kill.
They're out. That's our first wipe there, and that is very unfortunate. Little hill, not making C9 not fire until the very last second. At that point, Adasi at low speed, very, very hard to get that vehicle back up to a higher one. And look at this, that was right before the shrink. So that was one thing that did have to move. But looking around, we do see, once this forest is out, there's about 2 or 3 squads that can't see each other because of this forest. Once, if it is forced out, which it is, they're going to start a fight. I'm looking at Noble and like you.
To the surprise.
Oh, yeah.
No one, if you believed us. If you didn't believe us, then maybe not. But yeah, we have lots of players to the south who all need to make their way up, and they're on foot.
3 squads are in of our 11, by the way.
Oh man, they're all making their way either in cars. The cars are all going to run into each other, and then the foot squads are going to run into each other as well. And here we have
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, boys.
This one's definitely going to be picked up by.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's between 2 squads. There's a hill right next to it. Definitely a juicy crate skyline, not at all contested. But coming from the south side, a big fight coming out here as Flyquest is coming right on top of Relentless.
Here we go. Something. Can he land the shots on Inhuman, who's behind the car? Oh no, he has to jump out. He's right in the open, but oh wow, that took a little while for him to go down, but finally something is taken out and FlyQuest is gone. They're out of here in 15th place.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of safe res as well, shooting them from the northeast side, pinching them. Too many teams just trying to crash the same location. When you got fights like that, it just kind of breaks out, and then like whoever lands those first shots, or oftentimes there's a lot of tactics kind of goes out the window there. On the top of the hill, Cloud9 is spotting these guys out, trying to say, hey, I know you're there. Do not leave that shed. But on the northwest side, looks like Meme Enthusiasts are having a hard time breaking past 4 PUBG players, or at least the 2 that decide to stick over here on the northwest side.
I mean, the circle's pretty far north, so, I mean, they can't say they got a bad one. In the meantime, over here, Schaefer is taking shots. He had a different squad here in the west, the Meme Enthusiasts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Karjala actually goes down to Smeagol, getting the last hit.
The zone's pushing them, and they gotta go right now. And look, this 4X's, a lot of rifles trained this direction. They're spotting these guys with the smoke a little bit, but I don't think that smoke's gonna get him safely through the white. And look at this, like, more players actually transitioning through from the south. Mortify creeping his way in, but I think the zone was gonna get him. Yep, there it is. Mortify going down.
Yeah, he took some damage, but he was already too far in the circle. He had no chance. Speaking of the circle, here it is, closing in. Now, there's some water, and we see a couple teams taking use of this, LV in particular, really living the aquatic life right now.
Uh-oh, yeah, and Noble Boom going over here to join him. He scouts us out, realizes there are 3 squads that can see him and saying, hey, Elevate, what's going on? I'm just gonna chill out here with you. They and the rest of Noble will have a very hard time making the win the southwest side there.
Where's VTV going? Be careful, man.
That's a full shed.
That
shed has a full squad in it.
I think he has a feeling. I'm surprised that he's fine in this area. He's not fine. He wants to.
I'm
you
surprised
think
he's
you're
fine.
fine, but you're not fine. It's not fine at all. Up the hill. Yeah, I was gonna say up the hill.
Oh, he's also not fine. Cover fire is the
Yeah.
opposite of fine right now.
Oh no.
Somehow
To the
Saber's
water.
not taking shots quite yet, but
Cover
he
fire.
might make it. Back left tire out, 1/2 HP. There he is. Oh, almost died.
Cosplaying as a young turtle returning to the ocean. One wheel out, crawling
That's
slowly.
the best name for a water boy I've ever heard. Cosplaying as a young turtle. What is going on here on the west side? We see a couple of guys, the meme enthusiasts, and we're able to sneak in between Rush as well as the 4 PUBG players. But this is not cover. This is a small well, I guess it is technically cover, but it's not good. They're able to barely get in, and now pinch between 2 fulls or 2 a 1 squad and 1 half-strength squad. They now gotta make their way in toward this hilly mountain with already a squad on it. I gotta say, if you're not already in this zone, this is so hard to fight into.
I mean, they can't get up.
Oh, the water boys, yeah, the turtles are going to die a very, very painful death.
It's gonna be a rough time. They can think that they're fine for now, but, it's just take a while. But look at this, we have Cloud9, the first team we laid our eyes on this round, and it might be the last, as they're in a great position, like we said, late game position up on top of the hill.
Ooh, nice frag. Look at that, Soko getting the down of Disciple there, but Dakoko's still up over here, but they're pushing right up on him. He uses cover Disciple is, but yeah, look at that. Peek right, peek left, but they do take out Soko there.
Man, that was a rough loss. Good shots by Filthy, but losing a member there is really going to hurt. This is going to be a really battle-tastic circle, so you really need all 4 of your players, yes.
And look over here on the north side. So at this entire time, Hooligans have not pushed into that compound, and now with the shrink coming in, they're forced to make the decision. Do they become the water boy, or do they become the fighting boy? They will be, as you said, cosplaying young turtles, returning into the ocean. Not going to be as majestic this time, though, as they have essentially signed a death warrant. There's no way back up from there.
Yeah, especially when the circle closes in. Lazy MIA, whoa!
Lazy KIA, as his bike goes on out without him there. Pretty obvious where that was going.
I was living on a hope there.
11 teams alive, most of them solos in the water, but about 4 or 5 full-strength ones over here. But it looks like over here, Check 6, spotting a couple guys from safe race. This is looking like to be a pretty good frag.
It's too late.
That wasn't cooked at all.
Nah. Too short. Too short. It was looking good, though. But peeking over the ledge. Shadow needs to be careful. Alo actually had a shot there, but can't be too careful.
Safe for us, I think they still have 4 guys up. They will be fragging Shadow and taking down quite low HP. They are as well going for a 2-2 split, and this is not a good time for that strategy. 2 players very far back. It's going to be a little bit harder for them to cover Shadow. If they decide to push here, especially if they get it down onto one of these 2 forward players, then Chexus are going to be in a very, very hard time of things. That being said, it will be hard to get that with that long-range overwatch, as well as a bit of open terrain between these 2 small little pockets, these 2 little craters.
Well, here we go. This circle is going to not be in the water, I'll tell you that much. That's all that matters. The question is it over this this house? That's the
that's the big question. Are the guys on Check 6 going to be able to sit in this compound, or will it be Cloud9 currently sort of set it up on that hill? Pretty much both very strong positions. The question just who's got to move into who. And with the new zone, Ooh, neither, kind of. In some ways, 4 PUBG players get shafted the most here. You do see Fraxis is looking over that northern direction already. They might have a way onto this hill safely, but if you're over here on the southeast side, you have very few options. Also, by the way, Water Boys, gonna die.
Yeah, probably. And over here to clean up is Check 6. They need to, you know, it's not uncontested over here. Safe res, members down, so they'll have to take a moment to recompose, but there they are. Now, I think that someone needs to find a way to take out Cloud9 early on, because if it gets later on and they get the circle, it'll be almost impossible to push up that hill.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's really a way to do that, though. You know, look at this zone. There's very little cover in it. The only cover are the compounds that are already taken by these squads. Unless you're over here on the edge that are... And you like maybe find a pick and then smoke just to get to push Cloud9 fairly. That's just... It just seems impossible to take a quote-unquote fair fight. Looking over here, though, solid FPS downing CZBB is saying, all right, you're fighting that guy. That does not stop me from shooting you. They're just able to exert so much control over this zone.
Here comes the circle.
Oh, yeah, and SafeRest can't stay there.
Nope, they're pushing in, but they're only pushing into 2 here, so let's see. Yeah, like I said before, Cloud9.
Oh, my goodness.
Good luck pushing into them. It's going to be very difficult. There's 1, there's 2. Frex, can he find a 3rd? Wolf has his arm sticking out a bit, but the smoke will cover it right up. So they'll be fine, but they lost 2.
Pretty disgusting. Cloud9 isn't even taking full team fights. They just have 2 guys fighting full squads on both sides, and they're winning both fights. This is pretty disgusting. I
mean, how do you push it, right? It's impossible. But over
here,
over here, it looks like SafeRes has lost a whole lot. Shark OW, the last one over here.
Oh, look at this sneaky little Rudy's found. He
has
might not die.
Into the motorcycle. And into the compound.
Yeah, look at that. I found a little divot. It's not quite in, but he is not actively dying, and that's always a plus. Because these Water Boys are dying. The longer he stays alive here, that's super good. Look at this. He's already gotten 2 placements by staying alive here. Might be a 3rd as these guys on Elevate, as well as Noble go down as well. That could be a really good play from SafeRest there.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how... I'm not sure Check 6 is going to make it up this hill unless they do something more quick.
Well, they might not have to, right? That's the hope.
they have to do something.
Well, let's see what the zone does, is what they're saying right over here. Because right now,
Schaefer gets a double kill.
Looking like he's going to be 5th place. Oh, he does get 1, but yeah.
Wow. Almost gets 1.
Good aim from Frax, not letting his down teammate go down, keeping him nice and healthy. A couple of guys on Elevate. Looks like that Dithero brought his first aid kits, or at least he brought his bandies on that side there. But as the circle shrinks, we got 2 decently powerful squads, as well as Shark OW from SafeRes in the game. Neither getting the zone.
But Cloud9 kind of gets like they still have the hill because the high ground is on the left, on the western part. Right.
Well, high ground doesn't matter too much though when you're on the close cliff face, because Cloud9 isn't gonna be on that hill. They're gonna be on like the side that Jackaloff can see right here. Also, I think that with where they are right now, it might be Check 6 that gets to leave second. They also have a Dacia park behind them. So there are a couple of small factors in play here, but it will essentially end up being a full-on 4-on-4 team fight, essentially in the open, as soon as the circle starts shrinking. And look at that, Cloud9 already spreading out quite far, trying to get as wide of a crossfire as they can into this fight. A pretty smart plan. You don't want to have everyone concerted and just know where everyone is. You want to keep the enemies guessing.
Jacking off also, well, actually, just in general, Check 6 also has sort of the narrower part of the circle as well. So they're closer, but they have less room to play with here. And once you leave that wall, once you leave the cover of the city walls, there's nothing but barbarians in Cloud9.
Oh, look at that. We do see C9 moving. One of their guys moving north with a vehicle. They are getting lit up immediately. Probably doing us a cover, but he can't just see anyone. And look at that. That's not great. Moody going down initially. No one's going to be able to revive him. Fraxis trying to see if he can come in. That little bit of cover he has created with that UAZ is in the zone, but Fraxis not going to be able to make it, it looks like. But bloody on both sides right now.
We trade out Shadow. So, well, Shadow's down, not out. Frolicker goes down now as well. Just long-range shots come in from either side. We have a marksman battle. And Cloud9 is on the way losing end of it, as they're just down to solid FPS. How did that happen?
Man, it looked like that they tried to make a couple of plays for cover, and it just didn't quite work out. Now it's just
that's
hitting some shots. Might be if you can get that down, then Might
Watch
be in a
out
good
for Biz
spot.
on
He
the left
doesn't know that
side.
Biz. Yeah, this is really bad for
He's not
Solid. Doesn't know that
looking.
Biz is there.
Yeah, that's it. Biz is gonna take him out any second now. Any second now. Any second now. 3, 2, 1. But he's looking in that direction now. Let's see if he can take him out. This is big. This 1v1.
He spotted
He's
him.
everything. Wait.
You got him.
Yeah, he got him. And now he sees another one. That's
Oh
2.
my goodness.
That's 2 for Solid, and he has the position. He has the high ground. He has the rock.
He's still 2v1 peeking though, and on the tree versus this rock, kind of the same cover, but this frag hits.
No.
Maybe.
No.
Aw.
Barely
I thought I
too
saw it
short.
bounce again.
I wanted it. I wanted it to land. That one is a little bit further. Yeah,
Yeah, but look, they know it. And with solid FPS here, both these squads losing their cover is always going to be in favor of the people that have more numbers. Unless
Maybe a jump.
Solid
Maybe a
FPS
jump.
find this frag, then it's not going to happen. But look at that shot. Shot started moving out.
Uh-oh. This is rough. Okay, so they know that he's very, very low. He needs to win the 1v1 against
nice.
McLovin, but it's not going to happen. Cloud9, despite being kings of the hill, get dethroned by Check 6.
Man, that was really, really interesting at the end of the game there. It looked. I'm wondering what would have happened if Cloud9 at the end didn't make those vehicle pushes and go and try to establish cover. They would have had 2 guys still up if they all just kind of concerted and pushed the same way. But that being said, it would have been a completely different game. They would have all seen it happen. It's kind of hard to say either way, but what I can say for sure is that Check 6 is taking the first win here on game 1.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at how they did it over at the analyst desk. Don't go anywhere, guys, because we have game number 2 coming up in just a minute. In the meantime, Jabroni, take it away.
Thank you very much, Skyline and Seal. Game 1 ends, and it is Check 6 getting the win. There's a lot that happened there, especially with Cloud9. I thought there was some interesting things that I didn't think would work and worked out very well for them. But Check 6, 10 kills, and that's a team that needs it, sitting in 38th right now out of 40. So that's definitely huge for them. Now, Dave, I'm going to send this one over to you first, my friend.
I mean, yeah, Check 6, they definitely needed that win. I was quite surprised there. I actually kind of want to get 17's take on this next one. But Cloud9, fragging out of their minds as well. And I believe it's super important to also mention Allo, just to be able to secure that 3rd place spot for Safe Res. As you mentioned very early on, Safe Res is currently number 3 on the leaderboard. So I don't know if 17's over there getting nervous that his spot might be taken here tonight. But that's not the question I wanted to ask him. The question I wanted to ask 17, since you're a pro player, whoa, what's going on with my green screen? Is there any other way that Cloud9 could have made that push into that zone? I mean, we saw Moody take the vehicle, looking for that spot, looking for the cover, and then getting blown up. I mean, was there any other option for these guys to actually make it into that zone? Because that, I believe, is what kind of just tore them apart.
Yeah, Dave. So, of course, like in the heat of the moment, it's very hard to make those split-second decisions. Right there, we identified, both teams should have identified that both teams are going to have to move into an open area. Obviously, the vehicles is the thing that Cloud9 had for their advantage, and as well as the high ground. And Check 6 had the advantage of holding a compound. So really, it becomes down to 2 things. One, can you get your vehicle pinned against an obstacle in the circle? Moody tried to do it. He was unable to. I would have liked to see if Frex could have played where Moody had set up for him. Obviously, Moody died crashing the rock.
Yeah.
Or the tree, excuse me. But if Moody had got the vehicle in a good position, which it seemed he might have, Frex could have potentially drove the bug. Yeah, Frex could have potentially drove the buggy right up there. And then the only other option, aside from using the vehicle as cover, trying to get downhill, is to play the waiting game and to say, hey, we all know we're all 4 gonna have to run. Let's frag this out. We're gonna have no one's gonna have any cover. We're all gonna be shooting, and so go for that. So I think that Cloud9 played it. I think they started off playing it right by trying to get the cover, and I would have liked to see them try and commit one more. But I'm sure in the moment there was probably a reason, like whether it was comms and Moody say no, it's not in a good spot, don't come to me. That's where comms pretty much overrule all, in my opinion.
Understandable, understandable. And something really important about Cloud9 there is we were looking at the map when they made their rotation onto that hill, and it was like there's teams everywhere, and they're just like, oh, we're just going to come right through, just past everybody. I mean, the pathing there, they chose the spot to move into the zone, and they went
they took it from
dead
there,
center.
so.
They just yeah, we're just going to drive past right through here. Nobody's going to shoot us. We're fine. We know exactly where we should enter this zone, and they entered at the perfect location, and they got the offensive position on the zone right away, coming from the outside, which I think was absolutely huge. So I think that was definitely a big move out of that. Now, how do you make that decision? Is that just map knowledge? Is that like...
Exactly? That's exactly what I was going to go to. It's two things. It's map knowledge and valuing high ground. Knowing that you can play that high ground there versus where most other teams are going to want to play compound somewhere where they know they're safe. If they get it down, like if one of their teammates gets down, they know that it's an automatic res. Them knowing that that place is playable is something I'm sure they've talked about, whether it's in VOD reviews or what. Knowing that it's playable, and then two, knowing that they're moving in the correct circle. So for that particular zone of the map where there's not too many compounds and holding such a large area on high ground, they took it during the third circle, I believe, which was it's crucial to know, like third versus fourth circle, which zones are better. So obviously, like when there's more compounds, you can go in the fourth, but when there's not as many compounds, going in the third and getting that high ground, I think that's what ultimately put them in a position to not only place well in the game, but also to frag out as they did.
Yeah, absolutely. 14 kills coming out of Cloud9.
Amazing.
That game. So definitely small stuff. And that was, I mean, they had 11 with like 15 left, and I was like, oh, this could get this might be out of control here. Them running around, Moody and Frex together. I like the 2-2 split, just cleaning up their side before they got to the final fight there. Let me see, Moody going down. He did go for the tree. He got to the tree, but was knocked. And here we see Solid trying to pull this one off. I have to say, Solid was able to get 2 knocks here, put himself in a position where he could have potentially won this game for sure. And then this is the frag grenade that thought almost could have had it. Oh, no, that's the one that hit the rock right in front of him.
The cleanup, that's calculated. And he gets shaken off with that. I don't know if everyone noticed that. That was, that's, what is it? Extra points right there.
That was pretty impressive. Just, hey, and you know what? If that doesn't get that kill there and then he dies beforehand, that's not an extra frag for Cloud9. So you got to grab the points where you can get them. Calculated grenades off of rocks here. Solid just, he just knows exactly what's going on.
Only Solid.
So there's a few things here that I also wanted to touch on. And one of them is the kill stealing. When we saw Cloud9 originally, when they first got on the hill, someone drove past them. It was 2 players from Dare drove past them. They got 2 knocks really quick, and they're like, oh, a nice, clean double kill. You may not have noticed, Wolf stole one of those kills immediately. And this is what we're talking about, traded coming around right here. They both get knocked. Samurai here actually gets sniped with a Kar 98 from Wolf, and that kill is robbed immediately. So Cloud9 not getting any credit for that. As a player, 17, is that something, like, are you constantly looking where the shots are and trying to just steal any downs that are there?
Absolutely, and there's times where you're valuing that more than you're valuing fighting an active team for positioning or anything like that. There's times where the call is just, hey, we're just looking to steal kills here. We know that a lot of shots are going off. Let's see what we can do here and get as many extra points as possible. So, I mean, that's one of those things that whether you like it or not, whether you think the down should count as the kill or not, it's something that separates the mid-tier from the high-tier players and teams, and can definitely go a long way, as you see, towards points.
And that is the follow-up question. How should that be scored? Because it is interesting where if the down gets you the kill, or should the final kill get you the point? Like, how should that be scored? Because a lot of people do have differing opinions about it. And obviously right now with the current state of the game is if you down somebody, you get nothing. You get no points. There is absolutely 0. You have to confirm the kill. And a lot of times we see players losing kills for silly reasons, if you will. Is that something that bothers the hell out of you?
Yeah, I think there's going to be, no matter what the ruling is, there's going to be something that someone doesn't like, and there's going to be an argument for it being incorrect. So there's been, I think as long as it's one or the other, as far as whoever gets the down gets the points, regardless of who finishes them, or if it stays the way it is, where whoever gets the kill after the down. Either one of those is fine for me. What I wouldn't like to see is the half points for a down, 3 points for a down, 4 points for finishing, something like that. Because I don't like the idea of a team then working into, oh well, we're just gonna down these people and let them get a res and keep downing these people.
Sure.
So there's different things that, of course, any side's always gonna have an argument for based on what they like. But I think as long as we just say, hey, A or B, and stick with that, it'll become the norm, and we'll all be fine for it.
Interesting. Now,
I mean, I think the current system is good, though.
Dave.
I mean, let me just one point.
No,
Optic
go.
currently second place on the leaderboards. They're also second in frags. They got 98. And to paint a perspective, the God Squad, highest fragging squad with 102, they're sitting at 8th place. So that just goes to show you how important both kills and placements are. That's what Optic can demonstrate.
That sounded to me like Mustache Dave just challenged you to get the most kills in PUBG Online for split number 1. But it is now time to get into game number 2. So let's kick it over to our 2 in-game casters, Little Fuzzy Seal and Skyline.
Hello. Welcome back. We had a pretty wet game 1, and here we are in game 2. It's not going to be wet, but looking at this flight plan, it's going to get a little bit rough for our squad. It's a very, very tight north split. But before I go any further there, I am Lil Fuzzy Seal, joined once again by the wonderful Skyline. How you doing, buddy?
That's me. I'm doing pretty well. That was a really interesting, rambunctious end to game number 1. I can't wait to see what game number 2 has in store. Now, when we have a plane like this, you can see that it's kind of curving more towards the center now. I think we'll actually see just about the same spread as we saw last time, right? It looks about the same.
Yeah, pretty similar, I would say. The only real place on a second glance that's really cut out here is kind of most of obviously Snooker Island, unless you're like long drop to Nova from the end of the flight plan, and also Prim as well as the Gatka spread. And we already saw, despite it being the flight plan, no teams here really preferring the Gatka spread. I'd be surprised to see a team go in here unless it was like sort of their second or their third plan. But that does mean that a lot of the areas on the flight plan are being contested possibly a little bit more than normal. Yaz, one of the places I'm looking at, as well as that Milta power area. There's a lot of groups here near the middle and the end of the flight plan they're going to find somewhere to go.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll have to see where the circle goes as well, as that's crucial as always. Now, I really thought the last circle was very interesting in the last game, but we always get I feel like this entire week has been interesting circles. So we will certainly see.
A very descriptive word. Yes, it piqued my brain interest a little bit. But actually, I was joking about it earlier, but we do see Checkers actually long dropping to Nova. But looking like that they, as always, or they're almost always, go on for that long drop to the Military Island. Will not be getting into the zone. It will be pretty much smack dab in the middle of the flight plan. A lot of teams will have a pretty significantly easy time getting here. The big thing that strikes out to me about the zone is the river that's in the middle. A lot of teams won't know whether or not they should be playing the north or south side. Right now, it's kind of a 50-50 split. And the sooner this becomes more or less than a 50-50 split, it becomes a 60-40 where teams will feel a little bit better about being on one side or the other. That is going to be the part where things get interesting. Right now, though, it's pretty much a coin flip on to where these teams are going to end up in this first circle.
Yeah, the river split is always really interesting, but here we are once again. We're taking a look at Dare Rising. You see their stats on the screen, and they're over here in Milta. Talk to me about this team.
Oh yeah, well they're old Space Station Gaming. They have a couple of guys that probably everyone knows. I think Machine Gunner might be like the most like well-known like good guys in the community. Like everyone just likes this guy, and they've been playing decently well lately. It feels like they're a bit of an older style team. I feel like we do have a lot of those teams with us today. The guys that like to grab their compounds and hold them for as long as they possibly can until the circle finally forces them out. And we really saw what happens when that comes to a head the last game. And I'm really wondering if after that they'll be like, maybe we should be trying something different. Maybe we should be going for more aggressive. We should be identifying weaknesses in teams that aren't playing these compounds. But either way, here they are. They're looting Milta. They have all of Milta. With their increased spawn settings, they should be able to find themselves more than enough kit here in the southeastern little harbor town.
Let's take a look somewhere else. In fact, let's head over to Yasnaya, where we see two familiar teams going head to head. Actually, these are I believe different teams than before. But over here we see team with they're the memers. They're the meme enthusiasts in northern Yasnaya. To the south, Team Hooligans, Team 6 here in the red, Shrimsy, Fuzzy Potato, and the rest of them. They got a kill here in Yasnaya the first time. Let's see if they can do it again or if we'll be a bit more peaceful.
Definitely favoring the south side here. We see them dropping here 2 times in a row. This always happens as well. We always see teams when they drop a spot. It's never like, oh, drop Georgia Pool and like, you know, where in Georgia Pool? It doesn't matter. Like, no, they're saying the eastern quadrant of Yasnaya. One guy in apartment, one guy in the mansion, one guy in the police. It's always very, very specific on the looting routes and places these guys are at. This also means that it's pretty easy for teams to find like little ways to cut the pie that is the city. So I'd be pretty surprised to see blood be shed this time. But as I say that, we do see that these two guys approaching this road, Shrimsy on the southern side, and looking over here is Karyala on the northern side. They're getting a little bit close right over here.
A little close, but this street is the great firewall of Yasnaya. It's just a very, very wide street, so it's you're exposed for so long if you try to cross it. Over here in Rajak, we have a couple teams, or one team rather, trying to make their way through. That's Silky Meat making his way safely over the bridge.
Once again, a meme enthusiast, not exactly sure what he was doing over there, but definitely identifying for his team. That
we have first blood. Noble draws first blood on themselves once again. Man, PUBG, a game where you rarely see teams take first blood from each other.
Oh no! Was it a suicide or was it a friendly fire?
It was getting run over.
By who? By himself or by someone else?
No, not by himself. By Boom.
Oh.
And you can see Boom has a chunk of damage too.
I mean, I would have punched them if they done me like that. I'd be pretty mad. They're even bandaging them in different buildings. So they need to keep them away from each other for now. I said, all right, you sit over there. This is cool off for a little bit. They do have a pretty good compound, though. And what I like about that sort of square set of compound is that looking over here, we already do see a couple of guys driving toward them. Might be a pretty good choke point in the future. First crate dropping down, though. Is it going to be the God Gun? No.
What do you think the God Gun is?
What do you think, Skyline?
It's not that.
What do you think I think the God Gun is?
It's the M24 with an extra letter at the end.
Number, yes. I do think that was what the God Gun is. In hexadecimal, numbers or letters are numbers too.
Hey, at least I know my ABCs, dude.
It's true. When we did the sound check, I did not actually say the ABCs as Jabroni wanted. I guess I forgot. It's unfortunate, man.
Young Bay with his teammate, by the looks of it, coming. Or actually, he might be. He has a
Young
friend.
Bay. Young Bay has a date today.
He does have. He is the Young Bay. He's Smeagol's Young Bay.
Oh, that's not a date I would want to witness. Young Bay and Smeagol.
Yeah, dude.
Ugh.
I mean, yeah.
Ugh. The seagull with anyone. Ugh.
Yeah, Smeagol. He has some character problems.
He's just misunderstood.
Yeah. He's actually like a terrible person, but
yeah,
it's not his fault.
Meanwhile, on the northwest side, we do see Safe Res. It looks like they were able to identify that Noble was across the road. Maybe they heard the yelling and screaming over voice comms. They will be claiming this little compound outside of ruins, and they're in a pretty good spot here, crashing. They got their vehicles nice, safely, and they're pretty spread out over here. Noble might be able to take some tires out of the UAZ, but it's not game ending for Safe Res if that happens here.
Yeah, that was our second place team going about their business. Now, taking a look at this circle, if it's 50-50... Whoa, who killed
Is there a bike
guy?
anywhere?
Who killed this man?
Is there a bike? Where's the bike?
Who done it? Let's launch... We need to launch an investigation. There's no bike around. Oh, wait.
Oh, it's so far away. It was
you!
Oh, it's only a 2-seater.
It was him!
Oh, I don't know. If it's only a two-seater, I think... It might not be the bike's fault.
Stop victim shaming, dude. Just because it was a two-seater doesn't mean that he deserves to be crashed like that.
I don't know, man. Improve your bike driving, man. That's all I'm saying. Looking over here, interesting to note, by the way, a lot of teams finding themselves on the south side of the zone, on that sort of the coastline split. We do have Cargill Silicon as well as the guys on the Hooligans on the north side. A lot of these groups that had clear routes that were able to avoid Noble making their way on the northeast side of the zone, but a couple of centralized compounds still empty. If the circle ends up going north, a couple of squads might be able to identify that and head over there, but it's going to be pretty hard to figure out with complete certainty that the compound you're running toward is actually empty.
Well, here we have, now, if you have your choice, right, 50-50 split to the pixel, all right, 50.000 repeated, would you take the northern side of this river or the southern side?
I think
and why, in 3 paragraphs, submitted Tuesday.
Oh, jeez, I already have enough homework that I'm not doing. North, there's a lot of god compounds. In north side, you can kind of just win if you get the right compound. In the south side, there's a little bit of more. Actually, there's a lot of playable terrain in the south side as well. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. Like that's kind of like a really boring thing to say, but I'm kind of indifferent. Like the terrain's pretty similar on both sides. A lot of like decently strong combos on the both sides as well. The big difference is just the existence of Ruins, Sunken City, as well as Rozok, which are 3 pretty big city locations, right?
I like north.
It's like, do you like outdoorsy terrain, like terrain-based, like hill-to-hill, tree-to-tree combat more, or do you like city fighting more? And honestly, I like watching both.
I think it's more important that you have a spot that doesn't lose rather than having a spot that wins, at least in these early stages. And that means a spot you can run away from. Now, north, it's easier to run away from the north down to the south than it is to run from the south up to the north, I think, because if you go north down to south, you have like Sunken Ruins, you have a bunch of cover. And
it's easier to crash into a city late than it is to leave a city.
Yeah. Whoa! Still Hero lands a long-range shot.
And Silkemy gets the finish. Or at least the finish on the down.
Yeah, the down.
Yeah, the down. He's still
man, these guys, they need to get indoors. There's a storm coming, apparently, because they're taking damage even behind the gas station.
Oh, look at that HP. Elected almost died there.
Whoa. He might still die.
Well, dude, I guess you're right. I mean, everyone dies at some point, right? But Elected will be able to get here to cover. Fuzzy Potato almost dying during that res as well at half HP. Shrink almost done, but it looks like they will be able to safely tuck themselves inside of the gas station. It looks like the guys uphill. Meme Enthusiasts did hear that happen, but they're not exactly in a spot where they can really peek out and do anything about it. They're playing pretty far out, though. Silky Meat getting on that hill, just saying, all right, if you're going to play outside, I want to make sure you're not getting shot in the back at least.
Well, we almost have the circle coming up. We have a crate in the northwest, and we have a team by Pachinki. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks like the south is actually much bigger than the north. But over here, we're taking a look at 4 PUBG players. They went pretty far along, and over there is Check 6 making their way over. But yeah, all these are very strong teams that we're taking a look at now.
Yes, they all have vehicles as well. Our observer can't believe it. Schaefer will be making his way up this hill, though. He's actually alone. I'm not sure where his team is. Yeah, they're actually pretty far north. Him, Wolf, and Wolf are pretty spread out from Spiegel and Young Bay, but yeah, definitely favoring the south side. So these guys, they decide to find these little coastal compounds, definitely in a good spot. And if you're on that north side, you're not feeling too good. There are a couple of ways to get in here, but oh man, look at this crate. They just crammed everything in here.
We got a Groza with 90 bullets, a 4X, and other things.
Hope you
I don't know. Someone just went ham at Sam's Club. Just stuffed it up. Just stuffed the box as much as they can.
Get the
Cloud
crate.
9.
Get the crate. Get the crate. You got the crate.
Moody getting the crate.
He got the crate.
He got it. And he got a bush, too.
Oh my goodness, a portable bush. He has an M16 and an M4. We'll almost certainly be grabbing the Groza to go along with those. But oh, look at that. Big transition on the south side as a couple of the relatively centered compounds are being claimed by both Check 6 as well. Ooh, look at that vehicle on the far right. I saw the error of Wolf just kind of spinning out there for a little bit. But oh, Check 6, that compound is occupied, VTV. Yo, no.
Oh, VTV, can he win the 1v1 here? Will he finish it off? He will. No, he won't, but I think that player's dead anyway. But let's see if he can hold off this other player. Bay's on the left, another player's on the right. He has a backup moving in. VTV might be able to hold these players off.
Check 6 is falling back, so it looks like the down he got will be the start of something here. And with his one teammate near him and his 2 teammates on the hill, this is a pretty good chokehold they have on the eastern side of this new compound.
Yeah, I mean, they're there. Biz, Biz is holding that angle. Hit the button. All right. He hit the button on the shoulder.
Hit the kill button.
Click the button. But yeah, Biz, he was holding the angle like we saw. It was perfect. But you know, the reaction is it is split-second reactions.
Look at that. As he falls back from that compound, that's triggering Sugar and BT to go for that push. They're looking to kill Biz here.
They are, and there's even another player on the other side that we didn't see. Biz, going for the grenade. That'll hold them off for a little while, but they weren't even pushing anyway.
Well, this is really interesting. Check 2 is split up, but they're not actually quite able to cover anyone. And both 2v1s going on against Check 6 favor here. It looks like Jackanoff playing his own.
Jackanoff took out one, so he's holding him. He's holding his own over there. Let's see if he can keep it up. Biz throwing more grenades to stall. But now here, it looks like this team wants to congeal a little bit. Set to destroy wants to get all 4 players together.
Oh, might be able to find him through these windows. VTV looking like they don't want to go for the push. They want to be able to try, maybe find a sneaky pick through the window, but also support their teammates. Looking over here, though, Jackanoff on the top of the stairwell. This is a pretty decent spot, but the bars will be able to stop some bullets. Though Biz getting taken out. That's the east side down. This will allow Set to Destroy, the Squad 13, to be able to all make a 4-man push on Jackanoff if they do want to.
Well, let's see. Jackanoff was able to hold him off before. He also has a little bit of cover from McLovin across the road, but will it be enough? I don't know. Jackanoff is a very capable player, but he's holding off 4. The question is, how is this team Set to Destroy, Team 13, going to push without losing any members? Here comes the grenade. Now, of course, it's not going to go anywhere near Jackanoff. He's up here. Let's see. They can find him. This could be sneaky.
Okay, slowly pieing around. It looks like that hasn't leaving time for him to play it again. But oh, he doesn't get the down. He has to go right now. He's playing once again a very cheeky angle, but not getting it down means he has pretty much lost the building here.
He's going to push out, but there's a road behind him. Okay, yeah. He has to stick to the wall.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if Shiro saw a little bit of a clip of his helmet there.
I think he might hear him with the reduction of the ambient noise. Hearing things is a lot easier now. So you might have heard him vault out, might have heard him even prone. Proning is one of the loudest noises you can make in the game besides like firing your gun. But definitely the south side of this road going for Set to Destroy, but they will have to push north at some point. In all probability, they are sort of on the bottom third of the zone. They're going to have to go and look at McLovin getting it down to Pignato, but Jackanoff getting down here.
Shiro finds him up in the window. Yeah, fun fact, actually the loudest noise you can make in this game was documented to be forgetting to turn off the red zone when you're setting up the server settings. That's the loudest noise you can make. I did it a couple times back in 2017 in the dark ages. It was rough. But here McLovin's alone.
Golden Days is going to be PUBG Mobile, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, PUBG Mobile. Tournament's coming soon. Just kidding.
Just
not affiliated.
But, I think it is affiliated, isn't it? With
no, yeah, but I mean, I'm not. You know.
Oh, you're not. Okay,
tournaments coming up, yeah. But maybe now they'll be forced to.
The memes aside, the new zone has been popped. Essentially,
never put the memes aside now. But the zone has popped, so we can talk.
I'll allow the meme enthusiasts to determine when the memes should be put aside or put on full force. But look at this new zone. A lot of dead space in the center. Very few plays for teams to center up. The zone and where it centers up is going to be very, very determinant of who gets the better advantage and locations here in this zone. But until it happens, a couple of squads force into the edges of the white. Already seeing Rusher on this hill, Dare rising to the east as well. Russian A pretty good to move from. They can stay here as well, but not really able to shoot right now. But look at all that rush, all getting in the same vehicle.
Tell me about the dead zone. Why is that so important? What's so dead about that zone?
The dead zone?
Yeah, you just said there's a dead zone.
Aiming dead zone?
No, the middle of the.
Oh, there's no cover. There's nothing. You'll die. Wait, what? Noble? Wait. Oh, it looks like that Lost HQ has been able to sneak into this compound. I think that Noble don't see him, though. Wait.
Yeah, we have FlyQuest in here.
How did this happen? How did this happen?
It happened somehow. Fly something. Wow, almost saved by a pan. That was very, very close, but he's going to go down. There's Blue up on top. Let's see what he can do. He has an extended M4. One goes down. Man, lots of people getting taken by behind today.
Yeah, no follow-up there from Noble. They were having a pretty aggressive, good push from the begin with, but it looks like Dakless and Boom being a little bit too passive there. But I have no idea how I got this scenario. We just look around and all of a sudden 2 squads in the same building, FlyQuest looking like they had no idea what was going on. Looking over here though, at Lost SG getting a good knock onto Godspeed, and now Boom and Daculus have to figure out what do they do? Let's push out.
Around the corner, Blue gets 1. Can he get the second? This is so important, but he can't. Boom. We'll finish it off. Lost HD. It's all up to him now. He has the torch. He needs to push up right now before his teammate gets before his enemy rather gets picked up. I don't think he's been picked up quite yet. He's still up against 1, but he's not looking. Whoa, the reaction time is insane. He just saw like a pixel of that key. You heard the sound, right? But man, he wasn't looking in the right direction. Lost
Look
HD.
at the bodies.
We'll still get it.
Look at the bodies. You can see with the X-ray, they're literally everywhere. 7 different corpses scattered around this building. Lost HD, the only one walking away from what is actually the most centralized compound in the zone right now. Great place to fight over, but on the northwest side, the fighting is not over. It looks like we see Team Gates trying to make sure that Cloud9 cannot get across this bridge closer into the zone.
CeeLo Green's landed a couple of these, but that's about all he'll land. Cloud9 coming second place by just a touch last game, almost first. But this will be rough because they're actually across the river. Yeah,
they could decide to maybe swim across this. There's a little bit of death light, but even getting to the water in the first place, they'll have to be exposing themselves quite a bit to check 6 here. And especially with that, with their vehicles only having 1 Dacia, even that's a little bit risky. But the longer they stay here, look at that. We see Daco go off to the north. They could find themselves getting shot in the back by these swimmers if they decide to peek out here. That's kind of a bit dangerous in its own right. Shrink coming in, though. Let's see how quickly Cloud9 has to move at all. Coming in, and they will have to do
whoa, and Rajak,
a lot. They have to do a lot.
And Rajak looks like Shrimsy and his teammate are pushing up. Unfortunately, his teammate died, but Little B is there. Let's see what he can do now. There's 2 players over here. We're gonna see the circle in just a second, but I feel like Little B is about to get a couple kills. Grenade over.
That is a hell of a
I like the pose. I like the form, dude. I like the throwing form. Perfection.
It's almost like a waiter holding it a dish.
Oh my gosh. No, that was counterculture. Never mind. That wasn't a grenade at all. And there's going to be another one I mean, when you're stuck behind the wall, right? It's hard.
Yeah, and there were 4v2. It looks like Rozak absolutely going to the guys. So putting it over yet as healthy up to the guys. And where's my monitor? Coming right up into the 4-man of Rush. It looks like they were able to get this little bit of defilade here, but Rush a little bit split. 2 guys in the cover, 2 guys in the ridge. It's going to be very hard to push to the full 4-man of Where's My Monitor.
All right, so the circle has zoomed in on the dead zone.
Yeah, there's a couple of little ridges here. We see that 1 has been taken, but when I say a couple, I literally mean 2. Like, there's 2 of them. And Rush has 1, and Where's My Monitor has the other. There aren't that many other places near the center that teams will be able to occupy without a lot of legwork. Maybe like 4 UAZs could do it, but even that's asking for it.
Well, here they are over here on the hill. I mean, this hill is pretty good from this side, right? It looks good here, but once you turn around, it gets a bit rough. Yeah, there you go. Turn around. Look at that.
They can't stay here.
Harsh hill behind you. Maybe there's just no one behind them.
They're gonna carve for this.
But maybe there isn't.
Okay, so they're gonna carve for this. So the plan is, if someone goes to the north, hide behind the cars and hope they can't frag you. Which this is, they won't be able to. Bit of a was right over their ridge. Inhuman. That was a sick car jump. It actually gets away with it.
He's alive. I can't believe it, but he's alive. No, he's not. Whoa, man, that's jeez. I thought he was. I couldn't believe that he lived, and then I couldn't believe that he died.
Well, I can't believe he's not dead, but looking over here, his teammates might be able to repeat his play. But oh my goodness, looks like Cloud9. They tried to make their vehicles move across here, but it will be a couple of guys from Team Gates as well as meme enthusiasts that try to make sure they couldn't do that. Looks like still messy on the north side, but cars grabbed by every which way. Inhuman Protege might be able to get the revive onto him.
We'll see. Over here, Young Bay picks up 2 finishes. That's big. But man, now we know why Seal calls it the dead zone. And Human's actually going to get up. Very, very good. That was a really clean pickup.
Uh-oh, looking over here, we do see the guys on Where's My Monitor getting pinched pretty big on the west side. Where's My Monitor shooting him on a flank that they definitely have very little cover from. Alo getting downed here. So a little bit of return fire here coming from Where's My Monitor. Not quite able to get as much as pressure as they want to because it's looking like cover fire, and the guys on Dare Rising are able to take some very long-range shots.
Yeah, this hill is really potent right now, but it's on the edge. They have to be careful. Looks like everyone's made their way in, for the most part. Let's see where the circle goes. It either goes northwest, in which case we have a weird game on our hands, or it goes southeast, in which case we're playing around some compounds, and it's going to be the dead zone.
Weird game. Let's go. All the compounds except for a little bit controlled by Set to Destroy is in. Everything else is going to be playing outdoors, but our boys that are our car stuntsmen will be in the dead zone. They want to go anywhere anytime soon, but that's a pretty crashable location with only 2 players up. They might have trouble if a 4-man decides to crash them and they're quick on their trigger fingers.
Well, let's go ahead and see. VTV actually has an angle on a couple players over out in the distance, so land a couple on the shoulder, but that's about all he'll hit. Still, they're safe for now on the edge. This is basically, I mean, I don't think they'll be dislodged from this very soon, except the circle will eventually move away from them. Almost guaranteed.
Yeah, there's no real reason for them to move here. They have a decent spot for now. The goods, what they see in front of them is taken, and it's going to be really hard to oust them from this. The big spot right here we see on the northwest is this is looking really messy. A couple of solos here, as well as the entirety of Safer is looking like they have retreated over this hill, trying to see if they can claim the small building away from Lost HD, the survivor of the genocide here earlier. It was just solo. They're in the water, though. Will this frag hit anything? Nah, not really even close.
It's a pretty good grenade. Like, you can tell what he was going for, and it was pretty close. There could have definitely been a player there.
Absolutely. Cariala, though, he's having to sneak in here prone. There's a full squad, and it's still with high ground near him. So he'll have to bring out his full sneak skills for the test here. Crawling across this open field.
Here we go. But I think Lost HD, if he just turns this... Oh, no. This is a little bit of a ridge.
No, I think he's okay.
Yeah, he has this little ridge here. That's another grenade, but it won't land here, I don't think. I think it was somewhere up there.
I heard it.
Somewhere off in the distance in the sunset.
But that hit Aloe a lot.
It did. Whoa. That went a long way. That was intended, clearly. Clearly intended.
Clearly. It sounds like you're not quite serious about that. Oh, looking over here, though. So we can't stay here, right? Cariella has to move on. He's got to go south, and there's people literally all around him. He's been pretty stealthy so far, but I don't know how much longer he has for this world.
Yeah, I don't know either. We have Dare Rising coming in from the south. We have, of course, Cariella and FlyQuest with their last player in the northwest. What will happen, guys? We have crashed yet again, so we'll be getting in pretty soon. But man, oh man, what a cliffhanger!
What's your prediction,
you
man?
don't have to come back next week, though. We're gonna be back in like 15 seconds.
Yep. All right, coming right back into it. The new zone. Just a little. Oh, not even popped it. Getting there real quick. Nice.
This is the feeling of downloading the entire season.
Within the south side, we do see the guys on Rush getting pushed in fully by Dare Rising, but this push not working out so far. He's trying to make the win from the white, but this rifling from Lazy may be really good.
Lazy MIA will not, and actually his teammate's going to finish it off, but great shots from both of them working together. So that's Team Rush here in the southern side of the circle, maintaining the compound, but now they need to make it their way far to the south into hills that are not friendly.
Yeah, but I think that the only squad that's in the zone is Inhuman and his buddy over there. The guys that were able to, with the sick car stunts, make their way into one of the pretty good ridges. But with how much open ground there is, the amount of players that you bring into this final zone is going to be pretty dang important. Also, looking over here, it looks like Lazy MIA is going to be trying to reinitiate this fight. He knows the squad's still over here. They were doing some small skirmishes earlier and realizing that, hey, if these guys move, then we have a couple of free kills, and that'll make our back clear moving in. But looks like they're not moving quite yet, which is going to be pretty rough for both of these squads with only 20 seconds left before the shrink.
These two teams are very, very close. Now, we have team number 4. That's Team Gates over there, and they're in. But in the meantime, on the other side, Protege all alone. They've already gotten one down. Let's see if he can get a second. He does. So this is a very doable 1v2. But the peek over by Frignaldo will
really
finish
big.
it off. That was dangerous.
It's really big though, because them clearing that ridge, it's the only bit of cover maybe in the entire zone. Maybe there's a little bit on the northwest side where we see Vape crashing right now, but all these other guys have, like, look, a couple of trees, maybe some slight divots. That is definitely the biggest terrain feature that they have. Oh, look at this. It looks like a big fight right on the southwest side. That's the end of it. It looks like a big smoke rush by Rush. Worked out in their favor for now, but they still have a lot of the zone to make it into.
Yeah, they have a long way to go. We see one smoke. There you go. That smoke will do it. That's all they need to push up, but they have this hill. Now, they need to deal with Vape, the solo player here on the side. I don't think he's really interested in taking any fights anytime soon, so he'll be going away. But there are other teams over the hill. Where's Vape going to go? Oh, right there, apparently.
He's going to go
as the bike wants nothing to do with that. In the meantime, down the hill here, Sharko W. He has some sights on players out in the distance, but he needs to be looking at his back. He needs to be looking up the hill and maybe over the hill as we have the entire team of Rush. Never mind, they're going to be going in the other direction.
Yeah, it looks like they're not too curious about taking that hill. It's not quite in, which makes a lot of sense. And look at that, missing a lot of armor, low HP, and no helmet here on Soaker in particular. There's a lot of sense of them not be making that push, but that will mean that to the northwest, depending on how Safe Res plays this, they could be getting shot in the back very soon. They're currently winning this first fight, though. Shark going to be getting it down onto Fignaldo. These frags as well might be able to get some work done.
Oh, man. So what's in the circle right now is almost everyone. Not quite, though, as Rift is down here, not in the circle. He needs to push up. He actually has a really potent angle here on Team Rush. He can do a lot of damage, but he needs to be careful for his own safety. He's now in the circle.
They're not looking at him either.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, but this ridge is not in for...
One grenade, man.
This ridge is not in now, though. Force it to destroy. They got to head north.
Someone give Rift a grenade, dude. That would be sick. So down, a long range down, but they'll be able to be gotten back up. Looks like, you know, Rift is going to make their way in because other teams just don't have time to look at them. But still, Rift is going to be oppressive on them.
Look at this on the northeast side. We see that 4 PUBG players have been literally sitting in their little foxhole for, I think, the entire game. It's been in, which is good for them, but they've been able to get a little bit of pressure. It looks like, though, on the northwest, Team Gates losing 2 of their players. They're one of the stronger squads right now. So them losing those guys firmly, I feel, puts Such a Destroy here in the lead, at least in the player count.
I mean, I can't give it to anyone right now. I think this is anyone's game. Set to Destroy, looking strong. They do have this ridge. They have 4 players, which is more than anyone else can say they have. But man, oh man, one grenade, a couple of shots, 2 downs. But look at that VTV with the eyes through the blades of grass. Going to be able to take out 1, giving Rift time to move up. They might be able to take out the whole squad. There's 1, there's 2, and that's going to be it.
Meanwhile, a lot of other squads made the move at the same time. Dressel going down, dying immediately, showing, hey, Sharko W, hey, remember the thing you did last time? Do it again. Oh, not going to be working. I'll try to deny the kill points, or only the play zone. He'll be getting 4th place once again, so it's a consistent placement at the very least. But now look at this big push in by the guys in 4 PUBG players, making a car for it, using the smoke to get it set up. That might be the only cover in the zone right now.
All right, this is it. This is the decisive battle. It's a 3v4 as 4 PUBG players only have 3 left. That's team number 10 out there in the distance. Meantime, we have VTV on a potent flank with his team set to destroy, who still has 4. In the meantime, we have our I guess, spectator Mortify out the side.
When the smoke goes away,
gosh, that's it! That's it! The grenade! The grenade kills them all! The grenade killed them all. Mortify. They're trying to get at least 1 kill in here, maybe. There we go. I think he'll get the down, but not the kill. As, wow, it's taking them a long time to kill Mortify. Oh my gosh, he's still up. But no, that's going to be it. As Set to Destroy is going to take first place with the Holy Hand Grenade of Destiny. Jeez, that was absolutely phenomenal and very well deserved.
16 kills, and from day 1, they were just going around taking names, crashing a company at the same time as other team, just getting a foothold, killing everyone there, finding a ridge, saying, I want to go there, killing everyone there, crossing an open field. They got a car for it, don't care. Holy Hand Grenades on their side. 16 kills to their name, a great showing by Such a Destroy.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that, because I certainly did, and we have a few more games to show, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. But in the meantime, to explain the ins and outs of game number 2, Let's throw it to Jabroni and the guys on the desk.
To destroy 2018, man. They're a new team. Let me tell you, something's changed. They switched up some rosters positions here and there, and they've just been, they've been one of the top performers in NA ever since. Fragging out 16 kills feels pretty good. A lot of confidence in that squad, and it seems to me, I'm not 100% confident, but VTV himself moves in a very confident way when he is entering the battles a lot, entering the gunfights. Always wants to be first one in. Always wants to be the guy taking those initial shots. Now, Dave, I mean, there was a lot to break down there.
VTV's the man. Yeah, VTV is the man. I mean, set to destroy. I'm feeling like it's week 1 again, Jabroni. Maybe even week 2. This is back when you used to actually like these guys. They're coming in hot tonight. 16 kills. But Team Gates, second place. I mean, they actually got the a squad wipe, I believe, on Cloud9 as well. Right? I mean, I'm looking at my screen. I don't know what's going on. And then 4 PUBG players. Talk about consistency. Game 1, they came in 4th place. Game 2, now 4th place. This blue stuff's driving me crazy.
That static green screen has got you all out of whack right now, Dave.
Yeah,
it's like you're just not the same person.
I can't look at it.
No, don't do that. That made it worse.
But yeah, well, hold on. I got a question. I know you got a bunch of questions. We got a bunch of replays. So I just got one question for 17. I'm trying not to look at the green screen. All right, so 17. We see you guys. Now, I'm not trying to, be BM, but we see you guys in this situation sometimes where you get into these squad fights and you're the last guy alive, right, on your squad. And it's pretty early on in the game. We saw this with Noble and FlyQuest. Now, phenomenal push, by the way. But Lost HD being the last remaining member alive. Oh, here's the push right here. Here, I'm Noble. I'm just running in this compound, just living life. Yeah, FlyQuest, something. Taking some nice shots right there. Oh, that's a phenomenal push, all 3 of those guys. That's what I call teamwork here. But it doesn't matter because you can get shot in the back. Where's your pan at? And then here we go. Blue getting 1 down. Not the next one, but with all this information now, he's relaying it. Lost HG going to actually confirm this kill on Godspeed. Talk about BM. And then right away, finish the squad wipe. So, yeah, thanks for replay. But my question was, what do you do in this solo spot, in this solo, 41 members still alive at that point? What's the mindset? Like, what goes into your mind as a pro player out there?
Yeah, Dave. So, first of all, as far as the take goes, I know we didn't see it because we were, it was off screen it happened, but we were watching Check 6 and STDX in that fight that seemingly just took so long, and ended up, with STDX coming out with the wipe. But there was actually, Noble took one of FlyQuest members down. I believe it was Riam, before that fight even started from a distance. So about 3 minutes before the breach of the compound. So I just want to give more props to FlyQuest. I mean, they did a great job, but to note that it was a 3v4 and they were able to hold was amazing. From there, Los, basically to answer your question, as playing from a solo, the first step is always identifying the terrain. If you can identify that there's something playable in the center and get eyes on it, then that's the first step. Whether it's pinning a vehicle to a rock or something to where you can get that center compound and just lay low. That's always going to do what you can for placement. There's always, checking to see how much water, what % water is still left, and doing these types of things. But I think the number one thing is once you know that you're just you're in a really bad spot, you can't get to the center, there's no water, you're gonna just have to play. The best thing to do is sneak with the edge and move during shots. So when you can recognize the team that's closest to you and you can recognize that they're fighting another team, that's always going to be the chance to go. And then from there, noticing if you can wipe teams. So a lot of the times you'll see a team fight break out. There'll be a 3v4. One team will get wiped and one team will be down, right? So let's say it starts off as a 4v4 and one team gets completely wiped and the other team has 3 members down, right? If trading happens how it's supposed to, that's what we'll end up with. If you can get that, last kill and secure yourself an extra placement, those are the things you're looking for. Getting a couple extra points from kills and moving during shooting is the best advice that I would give.
Nice, nice. I'm taking notes, by the way. Thanks for those pro tips. That's why we
Dave's,
got you.
Dave's actually going to be subbing next week, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to hop in.
Yeah, let's swap roles. Bring me on Optic. You can take my desk spot.
That'll be great.
North George, let's go.
North George.
I know what to do.
Now, I have a little bit of a question myself. We saw that STDX versus Czech 6 fight. Now, it is northeast of Pachinki. Czech 6 is kind of holding down. Here we see the first down from VTV. Going to clear this up. Is this kind of Czech 6 being all over the place in this compound that was part of the problem here? Because VTV was able to get in the warehouse and get it down, and then they used that to create a hold and move through the rest one by one, and it was kind of like they were taking these fights. It wasn't a team versus team. It was a 3v1, then a 3v1, then a 3, so on and so forth throughout their movement here. Is this a strange way to hold this? Were they just looting and getting caught at a bad time? Like, how do you end up in this situation if you're Czech 6 when you don't have the support of your team?
Yeah, so I didn't get to fully see. I'm not sure if we just didn't catch it until maybe like the fighting had broken out, or if it was like a direct crash. But I'm assuming that the looting was what was going on, and having a player across the street can be a benefit if the other players are grouped. But if you're playing sort of like a four corners kind of thing, then you really don't have sight lines on each other, right, as well as you'd like to. So a lot of the times, I think the most ideal there would be to, if say Czech 6 had 3 players in the flat top and 1 player across the street, I think that they would have had the advantage. But because they were so split up on that southeastern side of the of that road, I think that was what was ultimately their downfall. SCDX did a great job of staying grouped and clearing one by one, identifying where players were and going from there. And then, of course, I would have liked to seen the last member of Czech 6 try and survive there, maybe get into the warehouse, do something for placement at that point. But it just wasn't the case. And props to SCDX for the great take.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once we finally get into that field, like that field is the worst thing ever once you end up without cover. Now, coming from the north, let's talk specifically about the north. We have players moving over that hill. They have the little dip once they get down there, and it's like, okay, we're safe. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this was 4 PUBG players that were able to get down there. Oh, here's the Set to Destroy fight from the south moving up, and there we see Inhuman and Protege getting killed off. Rush to the southwest, moving into this field. And this is the last bit of cover for a lot of these players as they're moving here. We see Vape trying to make it across. It's just, I mean, it's just brutal once you get past your hill. You're defilade. So up in the north was 4 PUBG players. How do you move? Is it just smokes and pray that nobody sees you? Prone and try? Like, is there anything to do that can help these players try and survive at least? Obviously, they were able to get into the zone. Then a grenade was their ultimate downfall, but I think Set Destroy did a great job on their half before even having to move, clearing everyone from the southern side for the most part.
Yeah, so I would have loved to see here, as far as, we'll get to the north, but from the southern side here, I would have loved to see Rush, after they wipe Where's My Monitor, I think it was, I would have loved to see them take the vehicles that were there. I know a couple of them were beaten up, but it seemed to me like, from spectating, that there were a couple of vehicles they could have taken. The circle was possibly the worst possible circle for them after that shift, so it might not have mattered how many vehicles they had. But I think the key is just having vehicles here and being able to realize where you are. You know, the biggest thing here is, I think SDX was able to realize that they were a team of 4 and there wasn't likely many more, maybe 1 more at the most. And so they knew that they had the peekers advantage of being able to get as much vision, whereas a player like forgive me for not knowing who was the last player, Mortify.
Yeah.
He was playing solo, and he just, his goal is to stay down, stay under, find some terrain that he can stay under, and kind of sneak his way in, which he did a great job of. So I think the best thing that you can do as a team there is quickly realizing what your weakness is and what your strong point is. So if you're not going to have any terrain and you're as 4, well then throwing smokes, getting into the zone, finding a little bit of playable terrain, or bringing a vehicle in is the play. If you're a player, if you're 1 or 2, your goal is to just sit there and try and pick off a few kills at the end and stay under terrain and get that second place. So ultimately, we saw SCDX was I saw the aggressive push from Rift, where he wrapped the south side of the circle. He didn't quite get the players on Rush. I know they were mentioning if he had a nade, he would have wiped him up, which was surely the case. But they were aggressive. They knew that they were the team in charge. They knew that they had the best positioning. And they had the advantage of all 4 being alive. And so they did what they needed to do, and they just strolled through.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you play it out that way. It's like Set to Destroy kind of did what they were supposed to, being in that powerful position, and then you also had the team up in the north, which was 4 PUBG players throwing the smokes, trying to move the vehicle in, which is how they should have played that, and Mortify laying low, staying on the western side. It's kind of like our top 3 all sticking to or identifying their roles in the late game there and kind of playing it the correct way, or the way that we would like to see them play it, which is nice, when we have that and it's not anyone making mistakes. When everyone's playing their game, it's a fantastic game to watch, I have to say.
Talk about mistakes were made, though. Inhuman. Jumping off over there, getting shot in the air. That was crazy. He actually almost got away. Here we go. Dukes the Hazard coming in hot. Oh, he's down right there. I believe that was relentless, right? I mean, we saw him actually right before that. They actually got a squad wipe. Got on who exactly, but it was also pretty nice. So unfortunate for these guys in that transitional phase.
I would like to say, sorry to cut you off, Dave. I would like to say, as far as Relentless, I've been super impressed with their early to mid game positioning in both the 2 games so far. I think that the middle game to late game circles might not have favored them as much. But I'm really just looking to watch them in games 3 and 4, see if they can continue that beginning and mid game positioning, and see if they can identify what they've done incorrectly and fix that going into the late game circles.
Okay, very quickly, last question. When you have a zone that's center like that, and it starts to get small, it's not the maximum size, and Rozhok is in it, school is in it, that cluster right there, Rozhok School Apartments, whatever. Where is the location to be there? Because it seems as though if you're leaving Rozhok going south, you're screwed. If you're leaving school going west, you're screwed, or even north, like there's so much. Either you're super safe because you're in one of those places, or you're just open field.
So again, coming down to identifying what your strengths and weaknesses are on the go, the team that ended up getting 3rd place there, they were in that little bowl.
Players.
Right, 4 PUBG players. They're in that little bowl, and as long as you know that your north side is clear, so once the circle can knock Roz off in that hill, and you don't have to worry about that, that's a very strong position. Along with the far left, it didn't end up being in the circles, but the far west, where there's kind of like a triangle mountain where there's different ridges, that's great too.
Cool. All right, well, time for game 3. Let's hop right in. Skyline, Seal, take it away, my man.
Take it away. I shall, Jabroni. Welcome back to game 3. We got one more after this, but first we got to get through this one first. I am Little Places Seal, joined by Skyline. That was a pretty impressive and exciting game 3. But honestly, I'm really liking having a pro in the desk to explain and break down a lot of those plays and the mindset of a player. I think it's really good.
Yeah, it's been great. I've got to say, thank you very much. The desk has been fantastic today, and of course the usual suspects. Looking at you, Mustache Dave, Jabroni, you and all your desk shenanigans. But here we go. We're in the game. The plane is in the air, and we have a team getting military base.
Yep, this particular plane favoring the western side of the mainland. It's going to be pretty hard to get to those Milta powers, these Naya areas. A couple of guys that want vehicles will be able to grab those. But what I'm seeing right here is a Gatka being in play for the first time, as well as a couple of guys taking like the sort of southern worry area as well. Georgie, though, despite it being played when it's on the flight plan a couple of games in a row, this time the entire northern city as well as Zarki is empty. It's really weird. Noble's in this game, right?
Yeah.
What? It's like always their spot. That's really weird.
Yeah, they're going to Gatka
Prim.
instead.
No, yeah, Noble's and Prim. So
I mean, just like players in general.
Yeah.
Lots of Gatka.
Interesting. All right, well, I guess this is how it goes. A team has got 1 or 2 places they like go on, and when they see those spots that they like open, they'll just head right on over. That does mean, though, that there's a lot of players. Oh, look at that farm area. Very, very messy right now. Frax looks like he's able to grab a vehicle getting away from Elevate, but Cloud9 in particular, very split up, and Hooligans dropping early means they're going to be able to grab a couple of guns and probably be able to force Team 13 that's set to destroy our Game 2 winners probably further east into the farm area.
Yep. Well, I mean, they have to drop at some point. So these players are a bit tangled up in each other, at least for now. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw someone run into someone, but at the same time, if there are enough vehicles on the road, they can scatter away.
Yeah, looking around, it does look like we have a lot of like duo splits, and this happens a lot, especially in matchmaking. But sometimes it happens here in competitive games as well. That is, the longer you sort of pull your drop, the messier it gets. Like just a little bit of a different like way. Like if you mechanically drop in a different way, like you push it at a different time, you have your speed different from your teammates, that can spread you out pretty far. Or at the very least, if you're trying to contest like a vehicle, for example, just a little bit of parachute mechanics can be the difference between life and death there for you.
Here we have in Primorsk. This is Team Noble. Now, what have you been thinking about their performance so far?
Poor. They've been losing a lot of fights. They've been losing a lot of fights. They should be winning, I feel. You know, sometimes be like, all right, they'll give a squad, then they should get squad wiped. They rotate to like a weird spot, and there's like someone already there. Once upon a time, I feel as though they were one of the most consistent teams ever. But I'm not sure if that's still the case right now. I kind of feel, especially after seeing a little bit of them today, I feel like Saferez might be sort of taking up that role right now.
Yeah, they've been doing very well today. I think that we've had a lot of teams have their spot in the sun this particular day.
Yeah, especially with this zone, it's going to be not too mean to the flight plan. It was off to the west side, but this is not difficult at all to break into. A lot of compounds as well, still in and available that might be powerful in the end game. So a pretty wide variety of places that teams might be transitioning too early if they decide to go for those split or early hold strategies. Looking here, though, we got FlyQuest, Squad 8 here in Potent. Or at least we see Ream in something. It looks like that, honestly, it looks like these two guys have the entire city to themselves. Not sure where their squad mates are, but these guys have a lot of loot to themselves, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of teams getting free cities.
Yes, the Pachinki Watertown split. This is the very common early games position for FlyQuest. This is really weird.
I mean, they can take it, right?
Yeah.
There's 15 teams. Lots of them are in Gatka. You know, just kind of go wherever you want.
Well, it's 2 minutes before the shrink. This is right around the time where teams, if they dropped really early, will be able to start centering up and maybe sending one or two guys over. You've seen the kill feed taking out Moody. Not sure where that occurred. Looking around. I'm usually good at spotting this, but I don't know where it happened quite yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, it disappears pretty fast.
I think it was Fairy Pier, perhaps? Yeah, Fairy Pier. I see the little camera symbol on the southwest side. But ooh, looking at this, it looks like that elevate. There's still some guys here.
Yeah, they're there, but I think that the last vestiges of Cloud9 are making their way away in Frolicker.
Wait, hold on. Aren't Frolicker and Moody on the same squad?
Well, are you okay? Yeah?
Isn't that just who we saw? Did we just see Frolicker kill Moody?
No.
No,
Moody died.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All right. Well, it looks like this crate. This talking about something else. Oh, let's just get less embarrassed here. This crate dead center is
AWM.
exactly where the end game spot was, and it show it off. One of the best crates in the game. 8x, AWM, level 3 helmet. I call the M249 the God gun, but if there's a God sniper among sniper rifles, definitely the AWM.
It's not too bad. One-shot body shots are where it's at. Now, we have a very central circle here. When we get these circles in the dead center of the map, what's the really important thing?
I'd say being able to move early, finding a spot that because in the dead center we see right there there aren't all the compounds in. It's like Frex is trying to make sure you can find a spot to go. I'm just kind of doing some donuts, but making sure that if you do get to a spot early, making sure that you have a plan B. It's like what you said previously, making sure that you don't have a spot that'll win you the game, but you have a spot that won't make you lose the game. And there are a lot of areas around there. It's mostly just identifying those perfectly with the scout, making sure that you crash or end up in an area that will let you move later on, and then being able to move accordingly. Because dead center right there is Potato Hill, and yeah, squad can take that, but it's definitely awkward. And we are seeing a little bit squads being a little bit more willing to possibly take those early game fights with the Czech versus Such Destroy fight we saw in the mid game of last game.
These are the meme enthusiasts here. Team 11. Disciple, the player we're looking at right now. Just over the hill, we have Relentless in the buildings. Looks like they're not very interested. In the meantime, though, Frolicker will go down along with Solid FPS in another place. So, man, Cloud9, bad start.
They're moving through 2 different spots and both got down there. I think they only have, I think it's just Frexus up right now. Of the 4 First Bloods,
it is
3 of them were C9.
Yeah, Frex, last one up for C9. Last one alive.
All right, well, a lot of other squads making their way into the center. We do have Noble set up as much as they possibly can. A long way from Prim, a long way from home, but looks like they were able to loot up enough and get over there. Apartments being controlled here by Team Gates, taking some shots at passing vehicles, but they know exactly where the guys in apartments might, and as they now know, definitely will be able to avoid most of the damage here. Looks like they were just getting back over to their friends. Little B driving with his big old red suit, red shirt that guy is, driving a red Dacia. Color coordinated, red compound as well.
Houses.
This man is coordinated today.
Red logo.
Red logo, oh my goodness.
Jeez. Red gaming chair, dude. That's how he wins. That's why he
I
has
wish.
such good aim.
Well, looking around, Snickers able to take out some healthy elf. I think his team
Whoa.
shot in the back. How did he get damage? Wait, where did he get hit from?
No, it was someone way away that shot him.
Opposing hill on the west side.
Yeah, something like that, man. That UAZ, that's just the boost smoking. The actual car itself is not smoking.
I think that Chuck 6 shooting health right there, or shooting Snickers right there, saved Health's life. If Snickers allowed to sit there and shoot, then I think Health dies every time. So a little bit of incidental saving by Check 6, allowing Where's My Monitor to continue playing with a full 4-man.
So our circle doesn't have too much time left here. Well, it's good to see where our mid-game brings us pretty soon. We have a little bit of a triangle here, as several teams all within the same general vicinity. Lots of nice hills, man. I've got to say, there are lots of... This is the area of the map with hills. We got Potato Hill, we got the green Big Hill. Controlling a hill is actually very potent at this stage.
I would like to see a map that just has like all the names, what people call things, like Potato Hill, Big Green Hill, Alamo, Alamo 1, Alamo 2, Alamo 3, Alamo 4, all the different names for that. It'd be pretty funny to see. But oh yeah, looking over here, Frex, the last remaining vestige of hope for C9, prone and a wizard tower, AK and a vector, the close range god. He's got a lot of equipment pointing at the door. Oh man, look at that beautiful rifle right there.
Just don't go through the other window. That'll mess him up. Mess him up completely.
That is true.
Over here we have Team Elevate sitting in the red compound, in a red compound nearby.
It's more orange, more of an orangish hue. I feel.
Yeah, there's probably some fancy color that's more specific, but that's a cute little chibi angel there on the wall. I gotta say, I feel like I really like the flavor of the graffiti and stuff in this game. It's it's
actually been updated as well. It's pretty funny. It used to be like a lot of like Russian. I think there was some Japanese graffiti as well, if I'm not mistaken. It's still in the game. They have some cute stuff around here and there. It's a little fun thing that the guys at PUBG Corp can change, revitalize the game a little bit.
Here we go. So we have a couple different places the circle can go. Lots of cities it can go to, lots of hilly, sort of grassy areas it can go to as well. This will really determine where we wind up going here in the mid-game. So all of our players are jumping into their vehicles, getting ready for the rotation.
Makes sense. This is how to be doing that. They're going to need to be ready because we all know that the compass they have are not going to be as good as whatever is centered up in the second circle. Noble with the possible only exception to that whole situation. And it looking like, we're going to get a farm ending. We do see the guys on Team 6, those guys on Hooligans, feeling very good about their chances, as well as our newcomers to the east. I'm pretty sure that's 4 PUBG players. Might have themselves another really decent early game position.
Oh man, that Dutchman is not doing so well. Lots of players have their eyes on it as well. VTV and his teammate.
Well, one of those guys literally won.
Their car's on fire, but they just barely got away, I think.
Yeah, and look at that. A lot of players rotating on the relatively open eastern side of the zone. Need to be able to get away, sure, as well. They're claiming that little spot that might be able to get shots on the rush here. Hopefully they can identify that before getting lit up too much by them. Meanwhile, on the southwest side, another rotation path. Texas leading the way. FlyQuest pulling close behind, as well as the guys on safe res. Everyone essentially rotating to the same safe area.
Here comes Vape. I think that compound is open, so he'll be able to check that out and maybe secure it for his team. But we have lots of, we have Team Elevate pushing out and being aggressive with their compound, which is something you kind of have to do.
When you're playing Edge, absolutely. Yeah. You need to get shots on passing cars. They're not going to stop the fight. You might as well sit here and fight. Looking over here, this particular area getting very, very congested. We see two teams here, one on the south, one on the northern side. Check 6 claiming the south. A little bit less centered up, but they will be able to have a lot of very good buildings. They get shots on passing cars. People have to watch out if they're transitioning through here.
So this is a circle where the Edge is not the worst thing in the entire world, I don't think. So we'll see our teams be pretty safe there. In the meantime, over here...
look at all these UAZs.
God, man. UAZ gang. I mean, if you could have... I think that having a fleet of UAZs is... I mean, if you could have a fleet of any one vehicle...
If I could have one car, I would choose 4 UAZs. Maybe 4 bikes if I'm feeling especially spicy, park them all in buildings. But if I'm looking for an outdoorsy circle, which it looks like this might be it by the end game, definitely 4 UAZs. Groza, though, over here in Milta. Nice.
Yeah, military base, military level 3 vest. Not too bad either. Man, is there helium? Is there helium in that? Jeez. All right.
RIP crate.
It's on its side now, but I think everything is okay. Elevate, trying to make their way into the south, getting lit up. Snowbird will get knocked. And not only that, but Dill Hero goes down as well now. They need to be so careful. Notice how high up this is. This is not real cover.
Yeah, and I was looking at their meds before. Elevate did not have much gear. We see that Venom using his only first aid kit, trying to pop a smoke to get to make one move. But actually, it's a Jabate smoke. Going over here to the left. Problem with smoke is that if you run outside of it, even if it's a Jabate and that's your intent, then there's still no cover there. Steezy BB actually going over here for a very wide flank on the left. This could put the final nail in the coffin here for Elevate.
Here he comes. Let's see if they can do it. The res needs to come out. Without this res, I don't think they have a hope, but they will get it. So Originality will get up his teammate, Dill Hero. And here we go. This is a 2 versus functionally, this is a local 2v2, but there's 2 other teammates supporting from a distance. Although, it looks like Dill Hero goes down. Originality, the last player left alive. The smokes are going to cover him for now, but not for long, as right the moment they dissipate, he gets taken out. Elevate gets last place, 15th.
Very early knock from them. Very aggressive play as well. We're seeing that a little bit more when teams notice a little bit of weakness from their opponent. They try to go in and make the kill happen rather than sitting back and saying, well, yeah, but what if they shoot us on the way in? It's sometimes you get shot at that dossier on your movement. Other times you get a free squad wipe. And that's a pretty good place to be, claiming an edge of the zone for yourself. Meanwhile, though, Shrink almost done. We see this very, very compact farmer, many squads sort of squeezing it like sardines. Will it be worth it? Yeah, I'd say so.
Wow. Well, it's dead in the center. Most of our teams are pretty happy about that. Almost all. The only players and teams who might have a little bit of a difficult time are the ones in the southwest, as they need to push past FlyQuest. Not as much space there.
Yeah, there's 2 squads over there, so they're probably might be seeing a fight break out if they transition in the same direction or at the same time. But we do see these guys playing on foot, actually, relatively early. They're rising. They're heading straight towards the coming of FlyQuest. They're playing on foot, so they might have a bit of trouble scouting this properly. No bikes to keep it nice and safe, but it looks like over here, FlyQuest having 1 scout pretty far out, actually. Who is that? See some on the minimap. Yeah, Lost HG playing the hill above the compound. Might be able to spot out. They're rising during their movement here.
Yeah, Lost HD can potentially do a lot of damage if he sees them. But they're going further up north by the looks of it, so they might just skitter on by. They're behind the hill right now. so Lost can't see them. You know, this might be a. I don't think that any of these teams are going to be going out in the circle right now. Protege, though, he's getting fired at in the middle of the circle. He might have bitten off a bit more than he can chew. He's down to 1/4, but he'll be able to get away on the fast-moving motorcycle.
They did get some important information from that, and that is exactly where they got shot at. That little bit near the center is the only place that no one shot it from the east. There's a squad over there a little bit further away set to destroy here, but they could decide to, crashing the Wizard Tower. Really good play. Everyone get in there safely for now. Shots are ringing out, but it looks like they will be able to make it to cover. And then if you're set to destroy, that was your movement in. Previously, it was an empty forward, northeast side of the zone. All of a sudden, yeah, 3 guys at the Wizard Tower, and Protege, one more guy cross-firing all the way to the north side there.
Over here, Team Gates is team number 4, pushing up on Noble. Over here on the name Potato Hill. Both teams have all 4 players still alive, and it looks like this is definitely going to come down to a fight. They're just way too close.
Noble playing a little bit back. It looks like that they allowed Team Gates to get here on this hill. Noble currently in 37th place. Pretty rough games for them so far here at PUBG Online. They will have a very wide spread, though, so no one should be able to sneak past. And honestly, with how Team Gates is playing, Noble's they don't suspect Noble, and Noble bringing a really weird strat here. There might be 1 or 2 early knocks, but fragging their Godspeed, they might smell something's up here.
Yeah, they've got to know, right? Frags are valuable. You don't just toss them out like that. Man, Godspeed, he narrowly avoided it, however. There's another team now coming. This is going to be Team Dare Rising coming from the west up the hill. This is a triangle fight. It's about to break down, and it will happen. There's no way around it, I don't think.
Oh, well, now that you said it. Might not happen.
Now that I've said it, they must fight.
They're rising, looking like they don't want to push straight Potato Hill. This will get him into a fight with Noble first, specifically Boom and Godspeed. They're on the left flank of this. This more passive play from Noble will cause them to get ambushed themselves here. Samurai, the full 4-man, pushing right up here, but Boom moving to the right. He doesn't see it yet.
He doesn't see it at all, but he's still, whoa, look at the turnaround. He still gets Boom. But it's traded out. Now Fiermi needs to do something. The 2 teammates from Noble aren't quite here yet, but he doesn't have a lot of time. He does catch Godspeed out, but the support makes it just in time. And Daculus will get the knock. All we have left, by the looks of it, is cover fire. He needs to make a miracle happen. Because Noble not interested in letting him stay alive. Godspeed will finish it off, but we're not nearly done yet. Team Gates from up the hill will take advantage and wipe it all up.
Fast.
They're the janitors here.
Every single player from Team Gates identify a different person to shoot. Everyone won their individual spray downs, and then Noble, 1 second they're there, the next they're gone.
Man, just like that, 8 players go down. See you later.
Looks like Rush Filthy not able to make it into this compound. There is a full squad on the north and south side. Rush pretty much unable to get here, and it looks like over here a big set of downs here as FlyQuest, their rotation did not work.
Let's see. 1v1 versus Allo.
Free
Going
fire.
to the corner, he didn't have his gun up as Allo peeked. So Allo will finish it off. And that's FlyQuest out of the game in 11th place.
Oh, yeah, and the southwest side cleared for safe res. That's a pretty good spot, and now that they've cleared the southwest side, probably no other teams really in position to transition through that route besides maybe Where's My Monitor? It is a bit of a threat. They still have 3 players up at least. Northeast side, though, looking like it's pretty clear for Relentless. Protege over there to the north, and even the rest of his squad mates here playing outside the Wizards, trying to exert a little bit of control. They will be doing that on the remnants of Rush, or the 3 remaining guys. Soko getting caught out a little bit, but they can't stay here. At least in the Wizard Tower, exactly. It is slightly out of the zone.
Yeah, very, very slightly out. They still have trees in front of them, so not the worst.
Important to note right here. We have a set of compounds in the middle of the zone. As long as those stay in, the team that's inside can be pretty happy. But this area is kind of like a little mini city. It's very hard to leave unless you still have a 4-man up, and the guys that are in the game kind of don't have 4-mans. This hilltop, easy to transition through, and if you get to stay on this hilltop, you're so happy. Fighting downhill, very rough spot, but these guys, at least they make their way up, will have an M24 with an Nixon suppressor to aid them. But I think this crate, honestly, might be better used for cover than loot. I don't think anyone's going for this.
I mean, it's about as good as you can get, I think, for loot. Let's take a quick look back at what happened over here. As this was when Samurai pushed up and just barely in the nick of time, the support's going to come. As Fermi tries to finish off Godspeed, but can't. Now, I want to see here just how fast, once again, Noble went down. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, and they're all, boom, dead, just like that.
A little bit of return fire, about 4 shots from Natural, and that was all that was returned there. Looking over here, during that replay, we did see Where's My Monitor move in, and Biz definitely saw it. Buggy, the evidence here with Trevor hiding behind this rock. Looks like I do see more than one player over there. Vape and Healthy Elf a little bit further south. Currently waiting for Trevor to call if it's clear or not. And with the shots pinging off his rock, getting some grappling woods on him. Saying, no, it's not safe, but Biz getting shot here. Will allow Where's My Monitor to move in here.
Oh, man. Yeah, Biz does take a shot to the shoulder, so he has to get down and use some bandages. Plus, he'll have to use a sody pop there to get back up to full health. Or 99 health or whatever. Now, we're going to see the next circle in just a second. This one's big. Like you said, if it centers over all those buildings, this could get interesting.
Yeah.
We'll have hills.
Yeah, looking over here, I really do think that the buildings are having the roughest time if it leaves there. So everyone else is going to have a decent time if they have to leave. But yeah, if the buildings, that's actually really awkward. We do see that check 6 on the southern side of that compound will need to move in. They do have an empty set that they could currently occupy. But if they leave too early, then they could get wrapped around from their west sides. On the north side as well. Team Gates will have to move in here. They have a couple of pretty clear transition routes on foot. But they also have some vehicles here. Should be able to crash anything they want to. That being said, 2 teams to look, or 1 team to look at here. Hooligans, they've been sitting in this same compound all game. It's still in. It's still strong. You can still exert a lot of control here. Anyone coming in from the west and south side is going to have a lot of trouble getting past the Hooligans here.
I actually like the Hooligans spot better than the other spot because they have the higher ground. And it'll be easier for them. It'll be easier for them to move out. Than this team down here.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of players here because these guys have to leave. I can't imagine Check 6 and 4 PUBG players both leaving this compound. I think in some way the next zone is going to force them to fight, or at least skirmish in some way, and probably lead to a death here.
Speaking of a skirmish, looks like we're about to come up on one over here as Team 9, Relentless, the guys in blue right now, have a player, Little B, pushing up.
He's really far up.
Just seconds away from catching someone.
It looks like the guys on Meme Enthusiast at Squad 11 knows something might be up, but no shots have been fired quite yet. Karyala now moving back to his squad just in time, fragging inside the shed. And look at that, he looks back and said, oh, that could have been me. This since we're taking, he got it a dodge, but now look at this, not quite in the zone yet. And the northeast side, look at me getting caught out, but saved by his teammates.
Immediately acquires the player, but geez, yeah, good reaction time by his teammates to save him. Counterculture kind of looking for people, but it's a little bit too dangerous to peek over now. This team is not in the circle yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to fight that, so maybe just go south and call it a day.
That's going to be really hard to avoid, though, and leaving high ground is a pretty rough spot. They got to do something. They either fight this aggressively or, like you said, play a little more passive and go south. Looks like the revive off. They will have a 4-man up, but on all different sides of the zone, a lot of full 4-on-4 engagements starting off here.
Well, we'll see if they lose anyone as they try to go down.
Whoa.
Down and over in the west, we have Team Gates. That's team number 4 pushing in on this comp. Well, they don't really want to push in on the compound.
They poked the sleeping bear and they had enough. They have their cars down south. If they're saying, okay, don't push that. We have some vehicles. If the zone sets them in a place where there's no cover, we have the advantage. The problem is that wherever the zone goes, there's a lot of people left alive. 29 in the zone this small is pretty small, and honestly, it's quite a few. And honestly, with how many full squads we have up, there's a full squad in every corner of the zone. There's very few places where there's only a couple of solos or duos left, besides that southwest side right there.
Oh, well, it looks like already they've lost 1 over the East Team Relentless. Have lost 1. Let's see if they lose any more, but we're not done yet. It's going to be the Hooligans pushing out of their compound to try to take these guys out. I like this because they know that no teams are around right now, so they want to finish this team off right now. They've already taken 1 down. Let's see if they can get the rest. They don't want to lose any members here. There goes the grenade. It looks good on Imasi. It could potentially roll past, but yeah, it's going to force them out. Even do a ton of damage. But
well, that was going on, though. A lot of downs here. There's no follow-up because everyone's down or dying. Another frag from Steel Green taking out Snakers, elected behind the rock with a teammate. Electro smells something might be up. Is going over the left flank. Great air bursting in the air. Electro finishing off the downs, but does show his position. But
that's
doesn't
it.
matter.
Wow. All right, so that's going to be Team Gates coming out on top. Jeez, the hooligans.
Too aggro.
The hooligans, they had. Well, I mean, I liked it, but they just lost, you know, because they.
Yeah.
I mean, because they knew that they had to control that area anyway. At some point, you'd rather do it while it was just a one squad versus one squad than later on.
Looking over here, though, it looks like that there might be a mutually assured destruction sort of strategy going over here. We see one member from Texas jacking off over here on the north side, just trying to see if he can prevent 4 PUBG players from engaging the rest of his squad while his teammates make their way on the southwest side. No helmet here for this player, so it might have just been, you know, sort of situation of whoever drew the shortest straw. You guys see their vehicles beginning to move, might be able to catch Schaefer here, not taking any shots, not peeking anything quite yet, but there's no moving in. He's got to do something soon.
Yeah, that he does. Vape will be the last one for his team going down now. That makes his team in 6th place. But over here, Jackanoff trying to make his way out of the house. It'll be pretty difficult, however. You see there's a team to his north.
2 teams.
You can even see them here. 2 teams. There goes 4 PUBG players. He doesn't want to take a shot. He just wants to run away, I think.
Makes a lot of sense because 4 PUBG players and meme enthusiasts are getting into a really big fight there on the northern side. If he can just hide here behind this, he'll be in a pretty good spot. He's maybe thinking about shooting these players on one side or the other. He has a long way to run for the zone as well. But looking over here, a little bit more of a pressure situation as 4 PUBG players trying to sit here in this crate. But there's players gatekeeping them from the north. One down, though. But look at that zone chunk.
Man, yeah, the zone, it hurts really bad now. You can't just tank it. Silky Meat, one more shot, and that'll be it for him. Yeah, he was caught between a zone and a rifle, and either one's going to kill him. Now, going to the hills. The hooligans being knocked out of that compound really kind of turned this game out on its head.
Yeah, all of a sudden, there's no one really covering these high ground spots. There's a lot of players maneuvering in low ground, expecting someone to be in that high ground spot, but no one's there to take the shots and punish these players and moving in the open. Big car fort here for the 4 PUBG players. I think it's just Wolf who's up right now. Shiver here as well. Finishing off Daco to the north side, but Check 6, one of the only powerful squads left, I'd say, with 3 up on that south side. Northwest side as well. Team Gates still with 3 up as well. Then we got solo and a duo up, running up to 4 teams.
Yep. Now we have I'm Aussie and the
Wait.
rest.
Safe Rest made again to 4th place. Look at that. CZVB on the south side there. That's crazy.
Yep, there he is.
That's actually crazy. Even if these guys lose their full team, there's always one guy sneaking into the top 4.
Every time. And he's pretty close to the zone also. I wouldn't be surprised if he could sneak in.
Yeah, there's a really nice ridge you could play right here on the south side of the road. It's not a game-winning spot, but like our resident pro 17 was saying, it's a 2nd place. It's a decent 2nd place spot here, especially because on the southeast side, we see Check 6 aiming up the 4 PUBG players on the eastern side of the zone.
Yeah, Schaefer, I don't think will be popping over the hill at this very second, but these players have to move pretty soon. The circle waits for no man, and it waits for only 3 more seconds until it starts to move in.
Oh.
All right, down onto Schaefer. We'll make this a 1v1 over here on the side, but Wolf is going to run away from it.
Yeah, now he's just still the same spot as the guy in Safe Rest, Steezy B on the south side. He's going to be trying to move in, but Steezy caught out in the open. Wolf here might have a position that he can use to sneak in. But looking over here, he is getting spotted out on the north side.
Yep,
Steel Green taking him down 4th place for that squad. Man, this position from Team Gates, I cannot see a spot where they just lose this. Look at that, Check 6 losing another player. 5 alive, and 3 of them are now from Team Gates, holding the high ground, holding the cover with a player advantage as well. It'll take a miracle to oust these guys from their high ground.
Yeah, that's it, I think. As it's all down to who survives longer. Will it be McLovin, or will Safe Res once again make their way all the way to the end of the game? We'll see. McLovin is making some good ground, but man, is he out in the open. A pair of good eyes is all that's needed to take him out.
Luckily, the other solo is distracting them for him, allowing him to barely crawl in the zone. Steezy as well has this nice little ridge that he can use to crawl in. Honestly, Skyline, what this feels like right now is the fight for 2nd place.
Well, we will see. We have another circle coming up. It's possible that Team Gates has to push into these solos, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, biggest frowny face here is for Steezy, who has to come up from his ridge. They know exactly where he is, and they know that he has to leave at some point. Now he's decided, all right, do I blue tank? Do I sit here? With McElevin over taking these shots, that might be this sort of saving grace for Safe-Red's second place position.
Yeah, McLovin taking those shots will give him away here, which means he will probably be the first target.
Yeah, there's actually a good spot that they can use to engage the solo, but the other one they have to wait for. Steeler Green over here on this right side, though, isn't a 1v1, but getting gunned down that left feet from Steeler, taking him down. Now it's Steezy. All right, do you have it in you, buddy? You're stimmed up. You got your little motorcycle helmet on. Get a couple of knocks and get running, man, because there's 3 guys in the zone. They're just waiting for you to run into them.
Well, here we go. He's going to get up. He needs to do a 1v3 here. And he might catch CeeLo Green alone, but no. They know by process of elimination, they know exactly where he is. Team Gates will take first place. Safe-Res crawling their way to second once again.
Pretty good showing by them, man. I keep seeing them again and again and again. It's always, we don't really talk about them much in the mid game. It's either, okay, they're in a really good spot and then we'll talk about them then, but it's always just like, oh my goodness, there's another guy. Usually I think it was Alo, Shark, and Steezy today, actually, so they've been trading their roles for that so far. But every single time, it's always one of them. It's actually crazy.
It's been insane. I want to hear what the analysts have to say about this, because that game had a lot of twists and turns. So let's go hear it from them. Don't go anywhere, guys. We have game number 4 coming up post haste. But in the meantime, Jabroni, our host on the desk, will take it away.
Game 3 ends, and it is Team Gates grabbing the W. Safe-Res crawling their way into a second place. Right behind them, Check 6 in third. Dave, I'm going to ask you this question first. Is Safe-Res the best team at getting top 5s? Because I don't know what is going on with them in PUBG Online. It's like every game they play, they're top 5. Every single time.
You're going to ask me this with the top 5 God 17 over there? Honestly, I feel like Safe-Res, they do a lot of VOD review and just watch 17 and follow his strat to make it into the zone.
You're really milking this one out. No, see Optic, I see Optic win games with tons of kills, all right? That's what happens a lot of the time when they get those big wins. They'll have the 15 kill wins or whatever. Safe-Res, we don't see that out of them often. We don't see 10, 11, 12 kill wins coming from this team. What we do see is we see the 3rd place, we see the 4th place, we see the 2nd place over and over and over and over again. Yeah, and seriously. That's how they've gotten to the top. They're just constantly in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, they know how to do that, the insurance policy strategy. I mean, things aren't looking good. I'll see you later, man. Honestly, I don't even know how Steezy B got in the zone at the end there without being spotted out, but that is just phenomenal on his part here. But if you don't mind me, I mean, I know we could talk about these guys all day, but I want to talk about that sweet 3-way that happened mid-game. I mean, you guys are looking confused right now. Oh, Team Gates, Noble, and Dare to push them. I think not. Look at this. They're actually feeling this one out. They got to push just ever so slightly into the zone here, kind of probing for information. Boom, right away. Going to see Samurai take them down extremely low. Samurai with that quick flick. Woo, amazing. I mean, I feel like this has been the story for them all night long, just getting into these early engagements, and it just doesn't pay off for these guys. But then Noble on a victory, but they know that Team Gates is on the hill because they were just watching them a minute earlier. Team Gates going to quickly take advantage of this as they saw the kill feed light up. They're going to take them down one by one. I mean, I hope Trick2G is watching tonight because Team Gates, they're on fire. And then we saw them 3 minutes later take out the hooligans. So, I mean, what do you guys? I mean, mouthful. I know.
All right. So 17. This is a question: when you get in the 3-way engagement like that, Okay, let's say hypothetically, I don't care which team you are. If I'm not mistaken, team on the West, which was Dare, they probably
Dare.
had the least amount of information
Yes.
as they were moving up. Noble knows that right in front of them,
The-
Team Gates is in there. They're kind of eyeballing each other a little bit. I mean,
Mhm.
is the role there to do as little as possible until you see one of those squads get wiped?
Yes. Or if you're doing a good enough job watching the kill feed, you see um, each team with 2 down, or more than that, then that's when you make your move. It's a fine line, right? And this game is all about risk versus reward. The amount of times that I've referenced this game to casino games, blackjack, and things like that, where everything is risk versus reward. Of course, you want all 8 of those kills, right? But you have to know how many you can get without losing a player. So being able to do that, and I think that Team Gates played it exactly how they needed to. They watched one team wipe one, and as soon as they did, they went in. They cleaned up before anyone can get any heals off, reses off, reload their gun even. So that timing was excellent. And then just the same, taking out hooligans from the low ground was a great fight for them. My MVP of the map has to be China, right? Good old Light Show.
Good old China.
Good coming through and getting the last 2 kills of that hooligans. Here we have it right here, where hooligans. I didn't like to push out, and of course there's the benefit of hindsight, seeing that they lost the fight. But I just didn't like leaving a compound. You have the last compound in the zone. Play this slow. Make sure that your team's safe. And here we see Light Show, the man, the myth, the legend, just on the left flank here, and the little bit of a pre-fire. He knew that there was only one spot where the guy could be hitting him from. So as soon as he takes damage here, just starts pre-firing right where he's gonna peek. So great job out of Light Show here.
12 kills. 12 kills for Team Gates there. Amazing game for these guys. I mean, that's one of the squads that every single game, to expect something just because these are some veterans within the game. And I'm happy for them. I'm just happy for them. Team Gates coming in hot. Formerly Ignite, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, what a night for these guys. What a night for all these guys. Before we ask all these crazy in-depth questions, though, I mean, can I just say, I want to see some plays from Noble. I mean, they're a strong team. What's going on tonight, guys? What's going on tonight?
Noble has the PUBG Online woes, man. They are just, I mean, they're sitting in 34th out of 40, and they're a team that they've gone to LAN, and they've performed well. They've gotten, to so many places in PUBG so far, and they've been around since the start, and they've been a token name, and it seems as though when it comes to the online leagues, they do struggle. They struggle a lot, and then no matter what it is, we'll have those moments all the time. We'll have maybe a qualifier of sorts, and Noble shows up, and they're like, oh no, this is our, we can do these one-day things. We always pull through, but the long-term leagues are kind of where Noble has been struggling consistently lately.
Feels bad for these guys. Feels bad. So, I mean, Optic 17, I guess you guys are just waiting for me to ask questions at this point.
I like the Dave questions, to be honest with you.
Okay, first of all, nice beard you got going on there. I'm loving it. So you already kind of said NA beard. You had an MVP. I mean, is there anybody else tonight that kind of we want to see perform game number 4 tonight? I mean, we're seeing a little things coming out from Cloud9. But, I mean, is there any squad in particular in this lobby from a pro player's perspective that you've faced against, like you skirmish against here and there, that can perform? I mean, who would that be? Game 4?
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen Cloud9 check 6, SCDX. We've seen them do it. As far as and of course Team Gates in that game there. From a perspective of an up and comers, I said it, in between the last 2 games. I want to see what Relentless can do here. That game, I didn't necessarily like their second circle rotation, but as they went for the high ground, I think if they push that fight and they wipe, I think it was Meme Enthusiast that was still up on the hill there. I think that they're in a position where they can pull that off. So
every time this timer, it just feels like the players are getting in the game faster and faster and faster, and we're just like, it's completely out of control. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize, 17.
No. It's
So,
great. It's great from a player's perspective to see that the games are starting faster. Because I've been on the other side where you're waiting for 20 minutes in between games, and
Hey, that's not our fault. That's not our fault, man.
well,
You
it's
talk to your
been no.
people.
The players have
Talk to
been
your people.
so good lately. It's like they're rushing
lately.
us at this point. It's wild. It's lately.
Let's add another minute. Let's add another minute, though. We're not done here. This
Yeah,
is the last
just
game.
ice them a little bit. But we are about to
Ice 'em.
get into game number 4. 3 games have been played. Your winners have been Check 6 in game number 1, Set to Destroy X in game number 2, and Team Gates in game number 3. Who will take the last one? I don't know, but I guess we're going to find out. And, I'm rooting for Cloud9 a little bit. So let's hop right into game number 4 right now with Skyline and a little Fuzzy Seal.
Welcome back. We've had 3 stellar games of PUBG so far. Wouldn't it be a good old Tuesday night if we couldn't run it out with the 4th? I'm Lil Fuzzy Steel, joined by Skyline. And with this particular game, we have a pretty good flight plan. No memes. Everyone should be able to go exactly where they want to go here.
Yep, straight down the center. And once again, we see teams taking early military base and also early Novorepnoy down here on Sosnovka Island. We haven't seen the island very much today at all. We've been seeing lots of hills. Lots and lots of hills. What do you think about the island, Seal? Do you want to go down there?
No.
Why not?
I don't like. If we do get a military ending, I do hope it'll end up on the eastern side. I actually like the terrain over there. It kind of reminds me of a grassy Miramar. West side, a lot of open sight lines, a couple of compounds, a whole lot of nothing. If you didn't bring your 4Xs, you didn't bring a full 4-man, then you're going to get your chances of winning that game goodbye, is how I feel. I want to talk a little bit about Noble, just before we sort of talk about the game as a whole. Usually they've been going for sort of Georgie Zarky splits where they can, but something that I haven't seen, despite that they've been mixing up their drop spots a little bit, is they're always going for the same location, the same kind of location, right? Zarky, Edge City. Primorsk, Edge City. Now Novorepnoy, City on the Edge. So despite that they have been changing up the city of choice a little bit, they're always going to the same kind of spot, which I think shows just shows the kind of preferences they have as a team.
Yeah, I think that Noble has, I mean, they've been weak today, but let's see if they can bring it back here.
I hope so.
In game number 4. We have, once again, our players in Yasnaya. It looks like we're being a bit more sensible with players taking cities this time. Not everyone's over in fields doing nothing. But here we go. We have another river split. Once again. So last time it went south. This time, who knows?
Yeah, that was about a 50-50. This almost looks identical, really, to that previous game's circle, but the circumstances are certainly different flight plan, different teams dropping in different places. Specifically, the area near Rozhok started out pretty spicy, and a lot of teams knew it. They dropped in this area and then drove away. They realized that this place is not going to be a good spot, and specifically, these guys over in Rozhok right now, Relentless, are going to be in a pretty good spot to go wherever they so desire. Whether it be that little northwest side, little 3-story there that can get a lot of control, or if they decide that they want to cross the river for a little bit of spicy action. But them and the guys south, I think it was Team Gates that made the apartment school split, are going to be in a pretty good spot to transition where they want to go and get there quickly as well.
Oh, yeah. So down here in the school, we have Team Gates. This is the team that won last time around. I mean, taking that compound was just so crucial. Let's see if they can do it again. What do you think about this team?
I've liked them for a while. I think they're one of our stronger teams. I'm surprised to see the way they won that last game. I know it seems like the stars aligned and Hooligans just pushed out from their more favorable spot. But if I know Gates, they're more than capable to take any small advantage required, except when it comes to looting. Let's little hiccup. Just a little hiccup.
Yeah.
A little sneeze.
A little bit. Well, hiccups take a while to get away, gotta hold your breath, drink water upside down, all sorts of crazy mess.
I haven't got
But
hiccups
over
in a
here,
while.
Venom.
Oh. I thought he was... Okay, I was just a little bit worried. When you bring the power brick out, those vehicles can kind of swerve a little bit, but we saw exactly what happened here. It's not your fault, Venom. This time it's not. It's no one's fault besides the bike's fault.
True.
Disgusting little bastards those little bikes are. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just go back in the UAZ. Yep, he's leaving it behind. Goodbye, sidecar. Cannot believe it all for that.
Gremlins.
That's the high EV play, in my opinion.
The high EV play.
The high EV play. The positive EV play.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
Expected value. It's a poker term. Yep.
I can feel your disappointment in me.
Over here, so Team Noble in Novorepnoi. This is, I mean, they're going to get as much loot as they want over here. They have to cross the bridge at some point, but in you know, we haven't seen any of these teams in this lobby really care about the bridges ever at all. So it should be free.
This is actually curious that they're moving out the way they are. They definitely didn't loot all of Novo, and it's not like teams need all the loot they have. But oftentimes when you see teams that are dropping these edge locations, they're more than willing to accept that they're going to be playing edge late game. But Noble hasn't quite done that yet. They're leaving early. They're trying to cross these choke point locations safely, taking the western bridge instead of the eastern bridge, where they saw guys dropping Milta. But they're all doing it together, and we're seeing right now, Boom, I'm looking at his armor and equipment right now. 1 armor all for meds, a single painkiller. They're definitely not ready for a full-on fight. Hopefully they have some other plan to get more looted and kitted out further on, because right now, as it is, some of their guys are a bit lacking.
Yeah, that is true. Dracula's playing the sentry gunner outside of the car, seeing what he can see. Now, when we take a look at least the island, we haven't seen it all today, so, but maybe we'll see it later on in another game, some other time. This is our final farewell as Noble passes across the bridge, but you know there is a team behind them.
Yep, check 6. We saw a scout from Shadow coming out here. This is oftentimes what we see, just having one guy set up forward. If he finds a squad moving or holding a spot, then they will be able to call it up for their team safely. Looking over here, though, the plus side of having all your guys moving at once, there's so many more targets, and Biz having a little bit of trouble, losing a little bit of time, will not be able to get that down on a Noble. Check 6, though,
Wow,
might have heard those shots, if I'm not mistaken, though.
That was really close.
Oh, that's actually a member check 6, so yeah, they're totally fine. They're not going to do any friendly fire, I don't think, on the south side here.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe someone will get mad.
I hope not.
All right, in the middle. So Rajak, you know, looking pretty powerful in this circle at the moment. Always a powerful position in these central type of river circles.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Rajak here?
Northwest side's really strong. You can get a lot of shots. It's pretty hard to push. It's hard to prevent people from getting into Rozak from that location, but you can maybe push also on positions like this if they spot it. It looked like lazy MIA. He came very close to dying, getting out of here. That buggy is, it looks like it got deep. A little bump happening there. Dismounting and barely getting to cover in the nick of time, but looking over here, taking shots from Rozak. This is what I was talking about before. Once we get some guys in that 3-story, you can exert a lot of pressure in these areas, Inhuman as well as Protege, get the rifles trained north.
Oh, yeah. So once again, the question is north or south. It looks like we're more split up this time. Before, almost every team was south. This time we have a few to the north. Of course, the circle update's very important. If the circle updates with half-half river once again, then we'll be getting pretty interesting. But for now, everyone just going about their merry way. Boom still hasn't healed yet.
It is natural. Yeah, they've taken a lot of hits at this point, and hopefully the Ruins has something for them, because the main thing they were missing previously was meds. And with having a couple of squads near them, I see a little 3 in the minimap there. That's where's your monitor to southwest. They're going to need to be careful, send a couple of guys out for loot, maybe stick together, or send some guys back to cover. But yeah, missing helmets as well. That's a pretty rough spot to be this early in the game, missing helmets and low on meds.
Over here, we do see team number 3. That is, where's my monitor? Trevor looking out. He's all alone here. They're doing a bit of a split up. So where's my monitor, team? What have you been thinking of them this season?
Not much. They're a pretty standard team. They're willing to do some weird strats, which is always good. I like a team that can adapt and be willing to do something a little bit weird sometimes. I also like the split holdings that they're doing right now, having one guy hold this little compound on the edge while their teammates go loot. But they're okay. They're all right.
They ite. So Wolf is going to join up with his team.
Wolf is definitely not aight. Neither is Schaefer. It looks like they might be. Oh, nope. As I say it, him getting headshot out of that vehicle. Schaefer had, and he's not going to be trying to use his vehicle as cover. I think that Wolf is just going to die here.
I thought he was fine. Elevate. Too good of a shot.
He's not aight. He's not aight.
Yeah, I mean, that's not that close, and he's in a UAZ at full speed. That wasn't an easy shot.
Not at all. So props to both elevation as well. Actually, it makes sense. There are 2 full squads shooting at them. Actually, looking at the zone now, yeah, 8 rifles. Someone's got to give. Someone's got to die at that point. It looks like though that the guys over on for PUBG players, that squad 10 to the north, will be able to at least pull back, lick their wounds, and recover a little bit from the thrashing they just got from Gates at Elevate.
We only have a couple of squads making their way into the circle now. It's not super urgent at this point. But over here, Biz, finally healing up from a chunk of damage he took. You know, we're seeing a lot of pokes and prods this game. Some of our teams might be a bit low on meds.
Yeah, and that's partially due to the fact that these guys are getting a lot better at claiming locations and doing it safely and earlier. I think it's a little bit of getting some experience in Miramar. It happens a lot on that particular map. But and this particular spot, this particular lobby happens of a lot of guys, a lot of teams that like playing center. Sometimes that isn't always the case. For example, God Squad, a squad that will almost always play edge. But this particular group, we have a lot of guys that they just center up. Their strats revolve around when do we center, where do we move, how do we get to the center, or replace center with good compound. And that's pretty much where we're looking. Meanwhile, they're rising here, doing all right. 37th place right now. But in this particular spot, if the zone rotates back south, it would be a good spot for to take this game. Really, or at least get a good late placement.
Yeah, Little B got knocked, but he'll be getting back up, no problem. As now we're seeing our teams coalesce near the middle. This is not really a circle you want to be on the edge of, I don't think.
Yeah. On the bright side, being on the edge will allow you to maybe claim some of the more uncommon spaces. If this particular zone ends up shifting far north or far south, you see, south side of the area south of the river, a couple comments open. North side, your shooting range itself open. A couple of comments south of shooting range open. So if you're playing edge, get ready to maybe try to capitalize on if this circle will go far one way or the other.
Here we go. We get to see. This is big. When we have these river circles, normally the second circle is just sort of a, just a former. But here we get to see a.
Oh God! What happened?
Oh, what? Wait, what? All right. Well.
What in the world?
That's just a little bit of a campfire. I mean, it's cold. It's a chilly day here on Miramar. It's a chilly day here on Arangel, and so we have another. Okay, so this one looks like it's going north. It doesn't necessarily go north.
I give it a good 80 to 90% here, and already we're seeing Rush. They were not a center squad previously, but now they're trying to become one. Those 2 compounds on the north side empty. That if they grab that compound early, that'll be a really good spot for them here going into the late game.
Well, we'll see. The bridge not looking too hot just yet, because we see FlyQ just drive straight over. The question is where they'll go.
You can't really stop that eastern bridge. You can't really stop the eastern bridge from that particular compound. It is a choke point compound, but it's not that amazing. Oh, but look at that. FlyQuest, they're rolling right up on that western centralized compound. Might be in a good spot for them as well. Them and Rush might be the 2 teams to look at going to the late game here.
Carjella, I think he needs to keep going all the way north. He's in too much danger, but his teammate Disciple over here. Let's see. This motorcycle is going fast, but it's really close. That's a lot of damage. Keep it going, Disciple. Don't finish there. There we go. He's going to finish off Shiro. Maybe land one on Fignaldo. Now one's good enough. So we'll be able to finish Shiro off for the kill.
Confirm it, making sure no one else can snag up those kill points. That is a very widespread. Meme enthusiasts definitely looking to see and get as many kills as they can onto moving players. We're to the next target. The UAZ a bit bulkier, but a lot more cover and a little bit further away as well. Disciple a little bit not quite able to land those shots. 2 squads able to, at the very least, transition around to the northern sides, but not without a couple of minor losses.
No. Let's see. A lot of teams have been able to get to the north, but we see that the Rajak team is down here.
Oh,
you know
no.
What? That's a yes.
Dang it.
Here, quick, take my first aid kit.
My props to Condolences, man. That really sucks. That's what they brought the bike in, because if you're stuck, maybe you can get in the bike and get out that way. But that didn't work, so they fragged him. And that didn't work. Okay, that isn't gear that someone can use. Little B, wait. No one doesn't help anyone. Little B, wait.
Jeez. No, is there no way? Is there no way to get this man out? Call the fire department.
Oh, man.
Is there a fire department on Rangeville? There isn't. There actually isn't any fire building, I don't think.
They'd probably get shot if there were one. Just considering the nature of this location.
Not even Yasnaya, no fire department.
Oh, looking over here. You hear a couple of shots come out from Dare Rising. They have found themselves at the easternmost Alamo compound. Not much of an Alamo, though. If it's on the edge, there isn't much they're really hiding from besides a couple of the stragglers, as well as dueling with a couple of the guys further in the zone. Same can be said for this spot, though, because Hooligans definitely more centered up, feeling a little bit better about the spot. Spotting Karyala out over to the east. And Karyala, remember the meme enthusiast, they've been playing very wide. Karyala coming over here is definitely going to show to his squad, hey, this group over here, maybe don't push too far west. Someone's going to get your head blown off.
Yeah.
Whoa. What's going on here?
He's going up to the gas station. This man needs a fill-up. A quick fill. But yes, Shredded and
I think he just went looting. Look at his armor right now, and his equipment in general.
He has no helmet.
Oh. Can he get Samurai?
Does he see him underneath? I don't see him underneath, but I don't have good eyes.
Oh, he might. I saw him.
Yeah, he does. There we go. Oh! Get those legs. Right in the legs. Watch him. That's how players get killed so much here in this game. Is that through the window? It is, but Shredded will get away.
It landed on the windowsill. This guy over the wall in the windowsill. If Shredded stayed in that room, he would have died.
Let's see if Disciple is feeling good about himself here. Let's see if he's feeling like he has to actually go push this because he's being attacked from behind. Shredded's in here. Disciple has no clue what's going on. He knows that at least someone's in here. Whoa! Attack to the shoulder. That's a good start.
And that will make his enemy pull back, healing up both Shredded and Disciple. And while it's going on, a couple of cars over by circling around this compound like a big boa constrictor. Shredded's time on this earth might be numbered. But his team's going to back him up as well.
Yep, this team is here. Not Shredded's team quite yet. But
no,
they're getting here.
Look at the east.
Yeah, now they're here. They're coming, but they're not here yet, man. That's why Disciple can take him out just like that. Cover fire, in the meantime, on his approach, was taken out by Dak Coco, who was able to get on the side. Now all we have left is this player right here, Ohio. Let's see if he can get away. He's in the dacha. It takes a little while to spin those wheels up, but there he goes. And I think that with a little bit of luck, he'll be able to make his way out safely. He's taking some shots, but I think he's home free.
Oh, that was almost the first wipe of the day. Still 55 alive, 15 teams up. The new zone popped by the way. No centralized compounds, a couple on the edges, but essentially just that little hilltop with a dirt road running through the middle, arcing down to the south there. Nothing really in the middle people can play. It's something one of those edge, outdoorsy kind of games.
Oh yeah. Now
Ohio,
I think Ohio might do some water stuff.
Blub blub.
Yep.
Uh-oh. I'm looking at the north side right now, though, and it looks like Flyq able to get a kill into Rift and start this fight off against the guys in Such a Destroy.
Well, we'll see. Rift is down. Something going wide. Let's see if he can find VTV, who's right there. He sees the head, and this is it. It's going to be an AUG 1v1. He'll have the advantage here, but let's see if he'll take it. Oh, VTV not shooting back, actually, but just takes a shoulder. Whoa, the peak, but the headshot from something. It's going to come far ahead. Jeez, these are some slick, tight peaks. VTV, whoa! This man's a maniac. He goes for it, but something is there to stop him. And the rest of his team is there, too, so that push would never have worked. Fignaldo goes and rides away.
Yeah, definitely a smart play. We're seeing that people are playing far, partially to cover, but also so that in case the fight goes south, that you still got a guy who makes sure that you don't get completely wiped. There is a full squad of Wares and Martyr to the northwest side, as well as Silky Meat leading the way, rotating right toward Fignal's direction. But at the very least, right now, he's not dead yet, Skyline.
No, he isn't. Well, we have the circle. It's further to the west, but still on this side of the river. And where it'll remain here. It'll remain here as well.
I'm gonna call something right now, Skyline. I think Safe Res might win this game. I really like their spot in the zone right now on the west side all alone. Not going to be able to get this crate, though. The M24 level 3 vest. Decent crate. Not game winning, not game losing.
Yeah.
Just managed. Look at their spot. Hilltop position, west side of the zone. No one contesting. Meanwhile, this east side. On the minimap, I already see 3 different teams here. Counterculture getting the bad end of a couple of bullets here on this little awkward shelf position.
Yeah, they already got one knocked, but I think they'll be able to get him up and stay alive for now. In the meantime, Rush has this building. It's a pretty good building. I mean, I've got to say, you know, you're right about Safe Res having a pretty nice spot, but a lot of these teams have nice spots.
Question is, how long will they remain nice?
Yeah, Safe Res is team number 1, by the way, over there on the far west, Drassel, the guys in green.
Well, I'm looking at some not nice spots on the south side. Multiple fights breaking out. The first one between Team Gates going right up against 4 PUBG players in the northwest, holding that little ruined set of buildings.
Yeah, and Mossy pushing up, though. Let's see if he can maybe finish off these players. He's fully committed now. I don't think that there's any backing off from this one. He could just hide behind this wall, but, like...
They have a down player, so he's got to do something to get his team cover. Might be able to take out Schaefer.
He sees him. Schaefer had absolutely no clue. Can he secure the kill, or will Young Bay be able to help his teammate? There we go. Both these players way out in the open. No walls, no cover, and Young Bay will take the gunfight with the AKM.
Wow. Gets a little headshot on Lycho as well. The only 2 other ARP are very far back to the southeast. That being said, Young Bay got a heal. Dead partner as well. He has to decide to pursue the down or get the res. The res will be the option here. And Imasi will be able to figure that out for his team.
It looks safe. He'll be able to hear anyone trying to push around the corner.
Look at that. Imasi taking a little bit, getting the information. Oh, but Young Bay spotting him out, and oh, that's unfortunate. If he just didn't make that peek, he could have maybe been saved by his team after they take out Young Bay and Schaefer. But now, 3v2, holding a compound is the 2. Definitely still winnable here.
Winnable. Schaefer did spot Mortify. Barely didn't quite nick him there.
Oh, there's a problem here, though, Skyline. The zone exists.
Yeah.
And these guys are not in it.
So right there, yep.
Oh dear.
The actual zone is blowing up also, so I don't think it's any safer over there, but here we go. This is all going to resolve right now, right here. Bay around the side. Let's see if we can get mortified through the wall. It doesn't look like it is. Oh my god, it does! Oh jeez, this man is a monster. He's a headshot machine.
God.
I don't know, but let's see if he can take out CeeLo Green. I think the blue zone will do it, even if CeeLo Green doesn't. Can Young Bay find a shot? He sees one on the shoulder, but just no head available. Give that man a head, and he'll click on it.
Well,
right
northwest
there, the
side
wall was in
now.
the way.
Safe Res going in against Where's My Monitor. Down already coming out for both squads, but it looks like Safe Res only playing with, they are playing with 4, so 3v3, but a very wide sort of Safe Res. They got to move up into Where's My Monitor, but look at that, they're getting shot in the back by meme enthusiasts.
If they are, half an elf is going to get to cover safely. He was looking a little bit dangerous there, but yeah, he'll get out.
They're all converging on the car for it, which might be a decent one for cover, but also frag bait. Shark will be as soon as he spots this.
Come on, Shark, throw that grenade. You know you have one.
I hope he does, but they definitely have those long-range shots. They might be playing a little bit passive, seeing if another squad will do their job for them. But I saw him on your screen, Shark. Watch out!
Oh man. So you said that Safe Res was looking good, but I don't know how safe they are now.
Let's look at 4 up. They were looking at that res, and they're looking now south. But getting it down, winning the trade.
Wow.
Drassel starting off this fight again.
That was a good one on health. But Vape is going to leave him because the circle's there. And run straight into Dat Coco and Silky. And there we go. Dat Coco will actually finish the player off. And that's it for Where's My Monitor. They're out in 12th.
Oh, and look at that Safe Res pushing into the spot emptied out by Where's My Monitor. It looks like they're actually going to take this fight. Now on the edge, you kind of have to. Looks like we are in a 4v4 situation. Not quite sure where meme enthusiasts at Squad 11 are, though. There's some shots already ringing out, but they're getting shot in the back. Safe Res getting engaged from the south and northeast now.
Grenade over. Not far enough, I don't think.
No.
Not quite. Safe Res has lost a member, but I think he's going to get up. Wait. Yeah, he did. He does get up. So I think that they're back to a full 4.
This fight's super important. Northwest is in, but oh, the car explosion. Last smoke, but no one dying from it. It's really hard to push this car forward, but it certainly is frag bait.
The smoke's really good. They need some room here. SafeRez needs some room to do something, and the smoke will give it to him.
Yeah, but looking over here, it's very, very difficult for PUBG players to actually push into this. There's too much dead space. Even if they get a knock, look, there's no cover to bound from tree to tree to here. And look at that. They actually know that. Meme enthusiasts know that. Karyala and Dakok are actually going far right, disengaging from this, while Slicky Meat and Disciple will hold them off.
Well, the circle literally came as far as to them as it possibly could, so they don't need to move. They can sit here and kind of work a little bit. Can't say the same for these teams on the fat side.
Oh, yeah. Rush and Hooligans. They were holding a pretty good spot. It stopped being a good spot, and they kept holding it. And these two guys, it's really hard for them to move. The shrink coming in now, though. And while the settings are set up so that it'll move slower, it still goes pretty fast when you're on the fat side. But they got some cars, but Hooligans, I think they're stuck on foot right now.
Well, Elected over the edge. He's about to find some players, but I don't know if Rush is... Rush has their backs turned. There goes 1, there goes 2. Elected with a double kill, but can he take the player out through the window? He needs to worry about Filthy too. Oh my gosh, Elected. He got 2, but 4 is just too many. He can't look everywhere at once.
Alright, well, Snickers here on the left flank for his squad, spotting Filthy, hitting behind a tree. He has the zone advantage, but it's not going to kill Filthy quite yet. Grenade Red Dot, they're getting out there with the UAZ. Snickers, a good spread opportunity.
And...
out of ammo.
Yeah. Close.
His squad's having a really rough time, but though, look at this wide spread here from FlyQuest, able to get a lot of pressure on everyone, despite disengaging from this fight. I'm not sure if anyone from Rush or Hooligans are walking away from this.
Well, Rush is looking awfully in danger right now. Soko will be able to heal up, but there's only 2, and they're behind the trees. And pretty much everyone can see them right now. Meanwhile, SafeRez on the northwest is going to make their way in, pushing up on Silky Meat also.
More importantly,
if you look,
these are getting pinched. Look at that.
The circle is perfectly split, southeast and northwest.
Yeah, a lot more guys in the southeast, it looks like, though. Alright, making a push in. Here we see Cloud9. They have 6 kills total. Getting a lot of kills up until this point. You know that Rush is here, it looks like. Might spot him behind that rock. Yep, spotting him out, getting the first knock. Soko unable to get the trade.
Oh, yeah, no helmet there.
Nice.
Click the head. That's all he needs to do.
Click the head, man. Click the head. You'll have to do a lot more head clicking here, though, because to the northeast, FlyQuest Blue is there with a full man and a height advantage. 4 guys versus 4. Really
FlyQuest is looking good to take this right now as Something lands yet another shot. This man on
that was a pretty good gun.
Is oppressive. And there we go, yeah. Cloud9 doesn't want anything to do with that. They just run straight for the southern tip of the circle.
FlyQuest definitely went on that southeast side. That might be bad for SafeRez, because now there's a player contesting that southern flank. It looks like while we were gone, Meme Enthusiast got obliterated by Elevate. SafeRez this entire time has managed to keep 4 alive. Another squad fight's in their future, but I think that Elevate... No, they do have 4, but they're all crowded around that one tiny tree. 3 of them are. Snowbird now going down, bringing them down to 3 players. Might be choosing with that. I'm getting hits.
That one hit the hood of the car. I think that would have gone true and maybe taken the player out. But SafeRez pretty close to the circle. They're the ones keeping Elevate out. Elevate will have a very difficult time pushing across.
Just moving in. Dressel wants to move first. His teammate is there to cover him, though. Well, they were. Not quite cover him right now, but I think he has a ridge to play in. That being said, they haven't really had a lot of time to scout out what the rest of the zone looks like. They've spent the last 10 minutes worried for their lives, fighting for their lives here on the northwest side. And now, after making their way in, a couple of preventative, sort of proactive smokes are being popped out, making sure they can get in safely. Now, they do spot out the remnants of C9 on the south side.
Well, Riem gets knocked really quickly here. This is Team Elevate putting pressure onto FlyQuest. They've lost 1. Let's see. Blue is looking a bit...
FlyQuest is really spread.
Surrounded here.
Yeah, Lost HG trying to 1v2 the remnants of C9, getting one. This is a pretty good start, and it looks like the teammate Frexus not in a position to actually take a fight.
Wow.
A couple of headshots.
That was clean.
Will take him out. FlyQ. Man, he knew he could win that 1v2. That was really impressive.
That was about as clean as it gets, that kill on the player in the car. So now, SafeRez, the only team left with 4.
Yeah.
They have that advantage. And yeah, FlyQuest is all spread out. They're taking a lot of 1v1s and 2v4s and such. Lost HD tries to go for the peak. Alo will land it. But man, this is tense. Everyone's in the circle. I think that we need to wait for the next update to really see what's going to happen.
It's definitely anyone's game. The north side is definitely higher elevated. That's why Blue has kept the spot, but now being left behind with 2 of his teammates to the south, he will have to deal with Elevate on his own. Hopefully he doesn't have the zone against him for that job as well.
All right, here we go. Let's see what we see. 3, 2, 1, go.
Elevate, for sure. Look at that, though. On the southwest side, we see Aloe and CZBB trying to see if they can finish off these 2 members from FlyQuest. Might be good with Blue going down as well. Their attention is definitely focused on that. Doesn't see the first member from FlyQuest, though.
There we go.
They don't see him either.
Yeah, Aloe take out 1. No, not quite 2. Something with... Jeez, something with the AUG is... oppressive.
Certainly something, wouldn't you say? Oh, but look at that, CZ. No helmet. He has no helmet.
Just 1 shot. Oh, okay, so something was able to heal up. CZ can do some damage here.
Some shots ring out over here. Looks like mostly suppression by Elevate. Actually, those are landing on Alo. That just makes CZ have to take this fight even faster. He wants to get that revive off. You can see him try to clear the car, but something knows something's up.
Oh, yep, there we go. That's all it's going to take. But Elevate is all alone on their hill. No one really went for Elevate. Looks like Shark, the sneaky Shark man, is going to make it into the circle. Something not nearly close enough. I think that something is out. I don't think he can make it in. Let's see if he can. Shark is already fine.
Yeah, it looks like last time I checked, he did have a teammate up here. Looks like they might have died running into Elevate. But yeah, Blue certainly dead. Something they're really only the big question mark. Can he make it up this hill? He's on the fat side of the zone. Very little cover, but the low ground is actually providing him some defilade here. Going from tree to tree here, following left, he might spot Shark with his current route here into the zone.
Well, he still has some time, so he doesn't need to hurry it up right now.
12 kills for the squad. They've been doing a great job up until now. You can see with how much gear he has. That AUG, a pretty good gun. He's been getting a lot of kills with it, a lot of downs as well. But popping some energy drinks. I don't think that a lot of adrenaline and sugar will stop a bullet entering your body, though.
Well, let's see where he goes. He's almost in. Yep, he does have the hill for cover. That's a guarantee. Shark looks like he's having an awkward time actually making it exactly into the circle, but he should be able to as well. Elevate the kings of the hill.
Ooh, yeah, he has no cover here. Sneak up on the left side. No vest on this player either.
Oh, but original.
Did he get spotted? Yeah, he did.
Yes, yeah. Originally sees them out.
Good place, not bad. That's a few games in a row where Solo, in some capacity, makes it into the end game. Looking over here, Elevate is well getting the circle.
Well,
That's so mean. That's so mean.
We've seen something on the AUG before. One quick pick and it's a 2v1. One more and it's a 1v1. One more and he wins. It's that simple.
At this point, with the lack of shots, we can pretty much be sure that the last 3 up from Something's point of view are certainly together. Zone's too small for it to be otherwise. Looks like 2 players, Dill Hero and Originally, are there on the west side, spotting him out. He's prone. This maybe he can get a spray down. He lands a couple of shots there.
The jig is up. That's going to be Elevate taking first place here in game number 4, just with some nice, solid, clean holding of a hill.
Yeah, right place at the right time, I gotta say. They just rolled it from the north side when another squad was being pinched. They were able to take one out, disengage from the other full strength safe res, disengage, keep the high ground, and the zone helped them out a little bit, but they certainly made a lot of smart decisions leading up to their first place win here in Game 4.
Well, guys, let's see what happened. Let's go check out what the analysts have to say. Jabroni, take it away.
Thank you very much. Seal and Skyline Game 4 ends, and it is Elevate. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that is the first time that I'm naming Elevate as a winner in Season 1
Whoa!
of PUBG Online. So it's exciting times for them. They need it. They are very low on the leaderboard. That is huge for them. But I'm not sure. It may be a little too late for that squad. We'll see how much they can turn it on next week. A lot of powerhouses at the end there. FlyQuest fragging out, looking violent, something. The AUG taking all the shots. It was wild. Now, Tanner, I know you have played with FlyQuest for eternity, pretty much. Since you've played PUBG, they've always been in your lobbies consistently everywhere you go. It seems like definitely some teams that have been taking shots at each other for months on end. So what's it like? What's it like playing against FlyQuest, a team so violent, so aggressive all the time? Definitely have always had shooters on that squad, some fraggers and.
Yeah, FlyQuest has always been around, right? They've always been a top 10 team in North America, and it's a team that you always have to respect going into against them. Los is absolutely nuts, so to see him continue to pop off is great to see. Blue and Something, they've always been reliable. They've always done their job. I played a lot with Blue back in the day, and his comms are just great. So definitely a great team. Good to see them trying out new force. I know, I believe Samurai, they've been playing with a little bit, and trying him out a bit. Today playing with Dare, formerly Trigger Happy, and today playing with Riem. So I know they were struggling coming into that game 14th. So it was good to see them pop off, get some kills. Should throw them just easily back into the top 8 on the day, which they definitely needed, as well as Elevate coming into the game 12th. They needed it, and Elevate's another team that, I've had my eye on Dill Hero for a long time. Someone whose shots are nutty, and along with some leadership and some positioning, he's definitely gonna come around here in the pro scene. So yeah. Very impressed. And I do want to talk real quick about just the C9 FlyQuest matchup was something that I was really excited for watching there. It ended very quickly with right here after Cloud9. They wipe the 2 of Rush, which Moody coming out with 6 kills in this game. Absolutely insane. And right after FlyQuest, I'm hyped right now, getting ready for this 4v4, and FlyQuest puts 2 of them down before they know what they can do, and the other 2 are forced to take off. So
yeah,
great play out of FlyQuest there.
I got scared when I heard that AUG.
Yeah, dude, the AUG sound is absolutely horrifying. Yeah, 17 actually messaged me on Discord and was like, I want to hear. Or I want to see C9 versus FlyQuest because they were creeping on each other on the map a little bit, and we were like, oh, we might have a nice 4v4, but it did happen very, very quickly with those 2 downs coming out.
And I do want to touch on something with FlyQuest that I noticed in early game. They've been doing it. Unfortunately, I didn't see where they landed first game. I'm assuming they did it all 4 games, but games 2, 3, and 4, they did this Watertown Pachinki split where they're going 2 and 2. And I do just want to say that I think the meta, in the coming months, we'll see teams that can pick up on tendencies like that. And I'm not trying to put FlyQuest on blast or anything, but we'll see teams who can see that, hey, they're landing 2 completely different spots, 3 games in a row. It could be 4, but at least 3 games in a row, and see that get challenged. Because from Watertown to Pachinki, you can't. There's no sight lines. You can't help each other. So the only thing that needs to be done is the school team maybe, or a team act like they're gonna land somewhere else. Like the school team would be the best team to do it. They act like they're gonna go where they normally go. Rozhok could also do it, and then they just send 2 water, or they just send 2, or they just send their full team Pachinki. I'm sorry, full team Pachinki, full team water. Quick 2v4. It puts FlyQuest in a rough spot, and of course any team. I'm not just saying them, but any team who does anything like that, where they can't really back each other up as duos, they're in a bad spot. They're either forced to lose some of their players, or they're not going to get the loot that they should get. So I think in the coming months we'll see that come as teams get more comfortable, and we're getting more comfortable with how to play out team fights, how the game progresses. I think that the next thing is the early game. I think we'll see some early game challenges coming.
Interesting. That'd be pretty exciting to see more of that because the lobbies have gotten smaller over time. As you know, originally it was 25 teams. Then they were like, all right, that's just out of control. We can't do that. So it went down to 20. Now PUBG Online rocking 16. I think GLL rocks 18 and Awesome rocks 16 per lobby. So it's shrinking down, and it's almost like now there are more risks of spreads coming out of these teams a lot when it comes to looting, where it's like you're just completely. You can't help each other at all from these different areas, so it'll be interesting.
And kills being worth what more than they were once were. So.
Correct. So now there's definitely value in the challenge. Dave, I haven't heard from you yet.
What do you mean?
Well, it's the last desk of the night. This is normally when Mustache Dave is popping off. He's got all his memes out.
All right. Talking about popping off here. Let's throw it on up here. It's getting to that time. It's the last game of the night. I want to throw it out to RIP. Little B, doing what they need to do, making that money, girl. Oh, yeah. That's what I like to see at the end of the night, making that money. Woo! I see that twerk, girl.
This is unfortunate.
But unfortunate. Oh, hey, whoa. Hold up. Settle down. And then next thing you know, Safe Res, though, I was actually going for them, kind of what 17 said, on that FlyQuest push because they needed this. They needed to pop off here this last game. Yes, they got the 3rd place, but Aloe just, fragging out over there, but being taken down. Oh, here it is. All right, so here they are making that 2-2 split. See, I like SteezyB and Aloe's positioning. They knew where they were. Getting the first one off right there, but just not able to complete the kill from something. Now, if I was SteezyB, yes, they mentioned he didn't have a helmet, but I felt like this was the time to just go aggressive and just take him out right there before. I mean, what's your opinion, 17? I felt like that was the moment right there. Just take him out before he got that med off. And look at that. You blew up the vehicle. I feel like you just made it a little too obvious that you're going to go for that raise. And something just still in the game with the AUG right there. And then, being able to get 2nd place. I mean, that was pretty much the 2nd place finish right there if you were SteezyB, I feel like.
Yeah, I think one or the other is great. In the position that Steezy was in, either after you tag the guy up, he's lit, whether your teammate tags him and calls out, he's hit a couple times, or you've hit him yourself. Either one, pushing immediately, wrapping up right. It's hard to expect it, but it is possible that one of his teammates is watching the kill feed and they know that the other member of FlyQuest is down, which would have been valuable information that there's no one with sight lines of him. So either 1, pushes aside, finishes the kill, or 2, goes immediately for the res while you know that the other player is most likely healing. Unfortunately, he got the time to heal and then re-peak, and it just wasn't meant to be with that AUG coming out at Steezy.
So it's similar to that 4 PUBG players versus the Team Gates fight that we saw like mid-game as well. I mean, look at the replay. Like, what are your thoughts about this? I mean, they had the time to fight this one out. They weren't in this next zone, but they did have to cross.
So I'm going to cut you off right here, Dave. So right here, this exact moment, I think that there was a misplay by Team Gates. When Mossy peeks around the corner as he's down, that's completely fine as long as your team knows you're going to execute. So as long as the team knows, hey, that info to pass on, hey, they're both right here. He's getting the res right here. Then your team needs to be ready to push it. Otherwise, you don't need to peek that at all, and you can possibly res. So I think it was probably just some miscommunication. Again, heat of the moment. As players, we have so much on our mind, and being able to do that, I think, is just something that it comes down to being able to communicate it. Mossy needs to be able to say, hey, I'm going to peek it. I'm going to give you info. Be ready, kind of thing. Like, go now. Or to know, hey, we can't peek. We can't push it, so don't peek it.
So one more question. After such a successful night from Safe Res, at least being able to place high, right? Are you worried as Optic? Are you worried that they're going to overtake your position on the leaderboards for the 2nd place spot?
Yes, so I definitely don't think worried is the right word. There's not.
Are you scared?
Teams. No, I'm not scared.
Are you nervous?
I'm not scared.
Are you nervous?
No. I think that it's very possible. I know they did finish the night in 1st, undoubtedly, and so they could possibly and should possibly, if my math is correct, hop us for that 2nd place right now. But I'm not sure if they haven't had their bye week, or if we're just all going to be playing next week. I'm not sure how that works out. But we're ready to go into next week. I think out of the 3 teams, Wildcard, ourselves, and Safe Res, whoever has the best week next week, is going to come out with it.
Yeah, Wildcard.
And to follow up. Last one. I finally got this guy here.
Go, man.
One more thing, and then we're done. I just want to get your take on Exodus and how they drop North George with you guys every game. I mean, they've taken you out a couple times. I've seen it, man. I've seen it.
Actually, we've been running into Exodus every game. It feels like, regardless of the map, and they don't even loot near us on Miramar. But you know, if they keep doing what they're doing,
if you could say one thing to them
up our sleeve.
If you could say one thing to them, like just to kind of get that rivalry going, what would it be? Like tell them to watch out, like get off my turf type of deal. Like, what do you want to tell them, man? Just say it. Just say it.
All right, Dave, you pick your favorite. All right, we can either tell them, be ready, sleep with one eye open, or we can ask them, a little more down the dangerous line. How come they're so condensed to where they're at? How come we have 3/4 of North Georgia?
Whoa! That's what I wanted. The shots fired. All right, thanks. Hey, Jabroni, wrap this one up, man. I want right. some shots out here. That's
everyone,
thanks,
that is going to be it for PUBG Online tonight. Mustache Dave, always on desk, greatest man ever. Just thank you for being here once again. We're joined by Optic17 tonight. Very quickly, Twitter at Optic17, correct? Right below you.
At Optic17, right below me, no spaces. And shameless plug for the teammates. At Hypoc_, at Bahawaka, and at The Real Hitch.
Absolutely. And then at Twitch is 17TV. There's a TV
That's
in there,
correct.
right? 17TV, number 7, word teen. But that's it for PUBG Online tonight. Our 2 in-game casters, Skyline and a little Fuzzy Seal. Thank you guys. All the viewers, mods, players, and everyone that was involved to make this a thing. And, of course, the 2 guys on production, Sipple. Yeah, it was close enough. Siffle and Sap. That's going to be it for PUBG Online for this week. Next week will be our final week of split number 1, both EU and NA. We will find out who our top 16 is that will be headed to the Showdown series for split number 2, and we will see you then.
shines upon us as we cross the haunted hills. Pick me up off of the desert, feed me water, walk me through the hills. Wait until the sun shines upon us as we cross the haunted hills. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. It's time to go home. Giving up, letting go, times we might feel compelled. Looking down from the heights that we have built all by ourselves. And there is fear of the unknown, but we cannot lose control. When we feel like the world is against us, we're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for. Into the infinite that we must reach. 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 Now which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is true